Hello and welcome to those of you watching out there. This is the next episode of our Ars Magica saga, Sons Voluntas. Some of the Magi are younger, sorry, beg pardon, some of the young apprentices have now passed their goals and become Magi. Some are on the very edge of it. The year is now 1196, so we're still in the reign of Richard the Lionheart. And some of the, older apprentices and younger Magi have been called together in the council chamber of Voluntas in the north of England to discuss what events are to come. So if you want to introduce yourselves as you arrive.
Okay, I'm John. I'm playing Micah of House Flambeau. Previously went by the name of Caleb as an apprentice, but he is now a full magus. A skinny man. He's in his mid-20s now. Fairly unnoticeable, forgettable face, but he's quietly competent, I hope.
Herman walks in. I'm playing Herman of House Miranita, an apprentice about 2 years before his becoming not an apprentice.
Gauntlet.
Yes, Gauntlet. He is a tall man with fine features, long hair, quite lanky, and he's here.
And I am playing Gareth Taylor, House Tempestuous. If he ever actually passes his gauntlet, he's still got a little ways before that happens. So he'll join in.
Okay.
Walks in.
So also the council chamber is Julia of House Yerbaton, the notional leader of this covenant. Actually, I'd say greets Nicholas as he comes in. Sedalis, please join us and nods to the other apprentices.
Sedalis. Give her a polite nod.
I know we've already discussed this matter, but it's probably about time we bring the apprentices up to speed. Would you like to continue, or shall I?
It is your information.
Very well. So, my sources have informed me of certain events going on in London. There's a charismatic leader by the name of William. It's Osborne, some sources tell me, or possibly William of the Long Beard. The stories are varied. It is said he's gathering large mobs numbered in the thousands with his preaching. I am concerned that this may be a plot by Blackthorn. That if they were to organise a revolt in London, they would overthrow the powers and establish their own mundane proxies in the city. I would like you to travel to London and investigate this matter and see what is afoot. If it's purely a mundane affair, then, well, there's no need for us particularly to get involved. But I trust your own judgment down at the time.
Okay. Give her a nod.
As for your passage, I believe your parents, Matthias, just into Mika, has some contacts with a Charles Magnus of House Tatalis, who runs a sailing ship. He is travelling down the south coast, and we've arranged that he can meet you in Scarborough in some days' time, and then convey you down to London from there.
Cool. Caleb looks momentarily disappointed, but then his face goes blank again, sort of thing. Caleb, Micah seems perfectly happy with this. He's not saying anything untoward. Oh, he will ask, do we have any hospitality in London that we can make?
London is far away, and we Voluntas do not have contacts down there the way we had a contact in York. You will have appropriate monies for your passage. I assume you can make arrangements when you're down there.
Okay.
There is no nearby covenant to London.
Oh.
Yeah, Herman kind of has been looking very anxious since he got here, and isn't really wanting to say much, really.
Okay.
There are various sources have told me things like it's William. I do not know how accurate some of these stories are. Some say he has already travelled to Normandy and met with King Richard and pledged his loyalty. But he preaches against the nobles and the rich, but not against the king. There are other stories he is a former crusader, and if that is the case, then he would enjoy a certain sanctity and respect among the people.
Well, we shall do what we can to ascertain where his backing is, what his history is, and if there are any hermetic interference already. If there isn't, I will back away from it if it's purely mundane.
You may want to consider among yourselves if there's any other business you want to conduct in London. It is one of the great cities of the world. That has all manner of commodities and such like.
Yep. Give her a nod.
What manner of grogs do you wish to take on this trip?
Well, Alfred has always been a useful member of the tub that's accompanied us on many journeys. It would make sense if he has sea legs, if he would accompany us.
Very well. I would not suggest too many, as space is limited aboard ship.
Yes, I'm also glancing at Gareth. If this man is raising up against nobility and the rich, perhaps going as well-to-do merchants may not be the appropriate attire. Can you think of something else that a man?
Scholars, just don't ask me to talk too much.
Scholars are also kind of upper
Exactly.
class. I plan on going as a woodsman.
And what business would a woodsman have in London?
Well, or a wise man, just to go and.
That seems like a profession designed to draw attention.
Perhaps we need to discuss this over dinner. I wouldn't want to waste Julia's time.
Certainly. I mean, you have a few days before you need to leave. If you wish to make the appointment in Scarborough. Well, I'll leave you to the arrangements then. Submit any reasonable claims for expenses and such like. I'm sure the company will make arrangements.
Give her a nod. Right.
Okay, I shall leave you to it.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'll look at you two. Let's go and get something to eat and discuss it over some food.
Mutter.
Okay.
Hermetic muttering.
Do you want to discuss it privately, or do you want to have Uhtred with you?
He can, yeah. If Uhtred is going to be there, he can contribute to any ideas. Happy for him to.
There is an alternative to appearing as a rich merchant. Not all who carry wares are wealthy or look the part. You could always have us we could always be a small peddler group.
In what regard?
Simply be peddlers. We would have some small wares with us, perhaps, or be searching for wares. We would dress in less quality attire.
Remember, we'll be coming in by boat. That may give us an advantage to be some sort of tradesman of some description.
Yes, we could easily have... It is not uncommon for peddlers to travel by boat if they are searching for new wares or whatnot. Peddlers, at least from what I remember, they travel more, and they are less noted, and generally are not wealthy. If a peddler ever did get successful and wealthy, they would be a merchant.
Well, we can certainly, I'm sure, pull off the look.
I mean, do we have goods that...
We could be in search of them if we do not have any.
We could have a little coin with us.
Yes.
You know, bartered passage down from the north, looking to take wares back north.
Yes.
Something like that. Uhtred has... I assume Uhtred's with us now, Nath?
Yeah. Our young master? That's off his potterage.
We requested that you accompany us down to London.
Oh.
A few days' time.
London. I don't think I've been that far south.
We're going to go by boat.
Ah.
So.
Well, that'll save the old legs.
Yeah, it would be a little bit of a long walk otherwise. But we're perhaps Gareth suggests we go as a group of peddlers. So having a stout man at arms as we travel the length of the country would not be unreasonable.
Peddlers do not often work in groups, but if they were to do so, it makes sense that they would be able to afford one man-at-arms between them.
Yeah.
It is a poor defense, but it is the only sort they can afford when traveling.
Exactly.
No offense to you, Uhtred.
You think about it. Right.
I just got to go at AFK 2 secs. Sorry. Just one.
Yep.
What is this AFK? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Well, sounds like you figured it out. What are we going to be peddling?
We were hoping to say that we were going to go there to find wares to peddle with some coin. Not much coin, as there seems to be some issue with us appearing wealthy. If we were wealthy, we would not be peddlers. But if we had to bring something, we could always bring some... I suppose... He kind of looks over at... if I say Caleb by accident, assume the character is saying Micah. Because I always take forever to remember name changes. Perhaps if we must have some wares with us, some small goods, perhaps we could take a little crockery or woven goods of some kind. We don't need a large amount if we are but peddlers.
Which is a bit thoughtful. This would be easier if we're doing the autumn, because then we could actually take some produce down. But it's still March now, so
what about
we've got time for fresh hives.
Perhaps some preserves.
What about wool?
I have it. What about wool?
Yeah.
The sheep should be freshly shorn.
There's plenty of sheep in this part of the country. We'll have. And does Voluntas have a small herd of its own?
I would imagine so.
Well, it's a manor, so it has some villages that keep sheep.
By all means, let's take some wool. I even know where we might be able to sell some, though I doubt it. It's mostly for appearance's sake.
I'm sure Voluntas won't mind us earning it some silver.
So if I understand our mission right, we are simply to go to London, posing as something that will not get us in much trouble, and investigate this William the Bearded, or whatever his name is, who is apparently leading thousands of men, or potentially as many, if as rumor has it, who is rallying them against the rich and the nobles, and we are to see if he...
That was strange.
We are to see if he is being manipulated by Magi.
Yes.
If he is not, we do not interfere. And if he is, do we interfere or do we come back and report?
Julia's comments were to use our best judgment.
Of course. Then we would defer to you, I suppose.
Thank you. It gives you a very flat look.
You get back this smile of like, yes, you're welcome. You can tell here's the thing. He is impressed that you like finished your apprenticeship and everything, but he's also just like, yeah, I'll be there in a year or two myself.
Okay.
He still does pay proper deference, so yeah.
So who else is coming along?
At the moment, we only asked for yourself, Ulfred, unless you think of anything. We hadn't discussed the idea of being peddlers then, though. I don't know if, if we actually, we could make this a genuine trip to actually sell some of the wool from up north in London, take a couple of teamsters down with us. That would have to be put past Julia, though, because it is...
If we brought Uthred plus one other, we could easily... Not everyone in our group need pretend to be a peddler. We could simply have a peddler plus some of us pretending to be teamsters. Do any of you not feel comfortable pretending to be peddlers?
I don't mind.
Looks at Herman.
Nope.
Then 3 peddlers plus Uhtred as a man-at-arms at part-time teamster. Assume Uhtred here would not mind carrying a bundle of wool off a cart once or twice.
I don't mind. Are you up for heaving a bundle of hay, a bundle of wool around?
And perhaps one other grog? We would only be taking 2.
We've got a few days. Let's raise it with Julia. The idea of taking some of the wool down to sell it south genuinely for the benefit of the Covenant, that gives us a much more reasonable reason to be there in case we draw suspicions. Yeah,
no, I agree. It just would taking a teamster for that long be a problem for the Covenant? Do you think?
Out of character, teamsters are there to get goods for the Covenant. That's their role.
I know, but but it's all the way in London. I would think they'd usually go to like York or something.
But here's the thing: the Covenant has a good number of grogs. Presumably, they can afford to lose 1 or 2.
Okay, yeah.
They just don't want us to take half the grogs in the damn place because there's no room to take them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, you could arrange to take a teamster along. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gareth is tempted to bring his fiance, but doesn't, because I don't want to torture the DM with like, oh, I get to play that NPC. I didn't have plans for that.
So I guess if we're going to London, we may as well also get if any of the parents need anything.
I'm not sure that will be a good idea, Gareth. It's bad luck taking a woman aboard ship.
Yep. That could be considered a problem, yep. We'll just give her a fake beard. It'll work out. Someone cast some corpus magic. Anyways, in all seriousness.
Okay, so shall we step on? Okay.
Yep.
So you make preparations of travel. You dress yourself as peddlers. You get a good bundle of wool. Ultra is coming with you, as well as another grog working as a teamster. I don't think I've got any named teamsters in the company yet, have I?
Wilhelm.
No, because we're going to investigate Willem anyway. Let's not do that. That's going to be confusing.
Wilhelm, not Willem. Good German name.
Let's see. Okay, and so you travel for a few days and eventually to Scarborough, which is a small town, much smaller than York, on the coast. And the port is a ship. Okay, Gareth, I'm just going to see you with your background. You know a little bit about ships. You recognise it as a cog.
Yay! I also did not. I should point out now. I saw in your notes you said to read a certain section of a book.
Yeah.
I never got around to reading that.
Right. Okay.
So, sorry.
Okay. And meeting you on the ship, or at the heart dock rather, is get my picture sorted out.
It's Uhtred's brother. No, just kidding.
Is a man dressed as a sea captain, looks to be in his 40s. Those of you without Palmer are incredibly suspicious of him because he has the gift.
Salve, Sedalis.
Salve, Sedalis. You must be the young lads of Voluntas.
Yes, I'm Micah of House Flambeau. This is Gareth, soon to be hopefully of House Explanius, and Herman, soon to be of House Marinita.
Okay. He nods. He's speaking to you in Latin, incidentally. Has a bit of a French accent, but his Latin's quite good. So I am Charles Magnus of House Tatalis. Welcome to my ship, the Chartie. So, just the four of you?
5 of us, yes.
Yes. I can see them out the back. Great, splendid. Well, we'll be setting. We're ready to set sail. Okay, so this guy. He's in his 40s. He's got a fine, very strange, foreign-looking blade on his that he's wearing. I don't think any of you would recognise it, but it's clearly some strange foreign Eastern thing.
Oh, it's a curved blade?
Yeah. It's all thing. As you might have imagined the Saracens using, possibly.
Yeah, there's probably been some artwork at some point.
Okay, so we'll do a bit of a scene cut. We'll move on as you set sail. So how is life in Voluntas?
Relatively quiet. Had a bit of a storm a few years ago. That was about the most dramatic thing to happen.
Ooh. Storms are dramatic to covenant on land?
Yes. No, yes, I imagine it pales in comparison to what you would have to endure if such a storm hit.
How is old Matthias doing?
Yes, he is well. I passed my gauntlet last year, so it is. I don't know if he'll look for another apprentice immediately, but he is now tutored for all three of us.
Oh, hey, prolific man.
Yeah. How is Alicia?
Oh, she's well. Last I heard, anyway.
Yeah, she does say that your covenants is rather dispersed.
Yes, yes.
Befits its
Well,
nature.
yes. I suppose look to apprentices. I don't suppose you two quite know what we're talking about, do you?
I believe Michael has said something about him having a sister on the sea.
I have a plan, shall we say, to form. Well, I don't know if this is possibly the first in the Order's history or not, but possibly the first ever ship-based covenant.
Is it not vulnerable to other Magi?
How so?
Well, I would imagine a ship is less stable than a building on land.
Possibly, but there are many benefits to being at sea.
Charles, may I ask, how do you manage your books, your library on the? Because sea air does terrible things. So
It does, but it's a very rudimentary enchantments can keep such things at bay.
do you just split the library across the members of your then that have to? Effectively, your library stacks are in different ships, and you have to arrange meet-up. You have to arrange to swap books. Effectively, is it? I imagine.
We don't have a huge library. We're not even a fully registered covenant yet, but we have a small library. And yes, we pass books back and forth as needed. It does require a little forward planning, but that's nothing that's beyond the wit of man.
Oh no, certainly not.
So, do you consider yourself part of the Stonehenge Tribunal then?
I hope to, in the future, to register this as a covenant within the Normandy Tribunal,
Okay.
which is where I'm from originally. Okay, as you're chatting, because I'm assuming in the captain's cabin, a little strange creature, the like of which I don't think you've ever seen before, popped in. It's a small little. I'm not sure if it's dwarf.
Furball.
It's a. Well, let me just find you a picture.
It's a macat. A macat. There. Can't say the word. Little monkey.
Oh, I like that. Those things, the things in India, I think, aren't they?
Yeah, it's from North Africa.
Yeah.
The macats, I think.
I think there are. Yeah, I think there are a couple different things. But yeah, I think they're. North Africa.
Yes, it's a little monkey. You've possibly read about these things in a bestiary somewhere, but you've never actually seen one before. So it's a little like it's got very nervous in the form of man, but it's got like hands and feet and also a tail, and it's covered in fur. It's like a strange thing. Let me put a link up to an image. Oh, that didn't work at all.
Yeah, I hate it when it does that.
This is what happens when you don't get your game prepped properly and don't get all your images done in advance. Right.
Yeah, is it a Barbary macat? Can't remember.
Yes. Friends, allow me to introduce Ojo, my familiar.
Huh. Give it a nod. Huh. Never seen such an animal before, Charles.
Yeah, what a queer animal. Is it from the south? Is it from the Orient, or?
Not quite that far. It's from the Barbary States. The lands south of the Mediterranean, where the Saracens hold sway.
I think I've heard of animals that kind of resemble man a bit like this, but certainly never seen one.
It's like it's hopping around on the third show. It's significant size -2, so it's what's that? Slightly bigger than a house cat, I think. But it's clearly incredibly nimble. You can see as it moves around.
I'm going to try and use animal kin to like say hello to it and
Okay.
see if I can figure out.
Go on then.
What did it say? Did he give it a name? I didn't hear.
Ojo.
Ojo. I'll say in animal kin. Hello, Ojo. How are you?
And it replies in Latin. Nice to meet you.
Well, I suppose it is a familiar that kind of slipped my mind. I say.
Oh, it gives you a funny look. You speak proper, do you?
I say, yeah. I speak. I can speak with a lot of beasts. Can you give me an example of how you speak in your natural form?
Yeah, it switches back to speaking monkey to you. It's actually making yakkering monkey sounds at you and casual conversation.
I'll just raise an eyebrow at Charles and then having him on.
So I'm trying to like in my mind like take down. Oh, this is how monkeys sound in the. And I'll ask it how it likes the ship. I guess.
That's how it likes the ship.
Yes, does it like being on the ship?
Yes, it's lots of places to kind of explore, lots of new people to meet.
And I'll look towards Charles to see if he's like thinking this is odd or something.
What's that?
I'll look towards Charles to see if he thinks like me talking monkey is strange.
He's a little surprised. He's familiar with the concept that some people could do that, but he's not. He wasn't expecting that.
Herman, are you making monkey noises in character?
I don't really know how animal.
I think it does say if you look up the ability.
Yeah, you make animal sounds. Communicate.
You do,
I am literally looking at you, just like head tilted, concerned. Like, I know what you're doing. I've seen you do it before, but these noises sound weird coming from a person. Then again, I'm like, yeah, actually, he's gonna look at you strangely for a minute and go, you know what? I've heard you neigh before. This is not that weird.
Charles, going looking towards London. What rumours have you heard? Have you made port there recently? Any rumours from there?
No, I've not been there that recently. What have I heard anything? I know. There was some talk about the wars in France. King Richard's trying to claim back his lands from the French. I hear it's somewhat back and forth.
Yeah. I should have. I don't know where Jonas is in Normandy at the moment. Matthias's first apprentice. He makes his home in Normandy. I don't know what he's up to down there, but Alicia hasn't said anything about him, has she?
Is there a Totalis Magus in your covenant?
In Voluntas?
Yes.
No.
Then, young apprentices, have one of your masters told you about my esteemed house?
We have, Matthias at least gave me an overview of each of the houses, but no great detail because it is for each. It'd be prying otherwise. To be honest, your ambition of creating a covenant at sea strikes me as very befitting a member of House Titalis, as far as I understand your house.
It's good for a man to have a goal in life, to have something ambitious and long term to walk towards. It gives one purpose. I finished my apprenticeship some decades ago, and I sailed far and wide. Yeah, far further than many, I suppose. But then I came back and I set this as my goal. It is good, as I say, to strive for something. It keeps one young and healthy. I don't know about you, youngsters, but I've seen too many elder magi who have they live only to live. They claw onto life. They've laid in their labs just to grasp a few more years. They don't actually achieve or accomplish anything else. It's not a good or healthy way to live, to my mind.
Micah considers it for a moment and then, nods. I struck upon an idea towards the end of my apprenticeship that I hope to pursue, though my magic is ill-suited to it at the moment. So it is definitely a longer-term ambition.
Remember something? That turns to Herman. Oh, Marinito, wasn't it? Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what encounters have you had with the fair folk?
Mostly just the ones locally with the Covenant. I've spoken with a Kelpie. It's like mostly is my main. I talk to the most. I was curious if you've ever run into a mermaid or a selkie or anything.
Yes, we've had encounters with the great kingdoms below the waves. Certainly, there are riches down there that many would not imagine. And indeed far across the great ocean.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, I sailed once along the old Viking routes to a place they called Vinland.
I don't think I'd ever heard of that.
There's a great land over the waves. It's true. To my mind, what they say: if you sail far enough to the west, you can reach fairyland itself.
I know many of the members of Meridita have tried to find fairyland in very different ways. That might be one of them.
Yeah. It was a strange, bizarre place over there. It was said that every man rules his own kingdom. That every little island was an empire. And so that's where I decided. I came back and decided that for me, I did not want my life to be stuck in some fixed laboratory in a tower inside a covenant, studying away. I'd study by all means, but I study on the move.
Micah is respectful of that. That's not an easy way to study.
No. But it is a life well lived. And there are things we could learn in life which one does not learn reading a book in your laboratory. So.
Well, I can honestly say I wouldn't know, as I've never had a laboratory of my own yet.
Wow.
At the moment, I am now a guest of Voluntas staying in the village with some access to their library while I wait for the others to catch up.
I believe that is also what me and Gareth will be doing after we're done until
Yes, but I don't think you will have to share a home with Talbot specifically. You know how difficult that is?
Oh, you're of the same house. You should have something in common.
Yes, violence. No, we haven't come to actual blows yet.
Has he tried to challenge you to a duel yet?
I think he thought better of it when I just told him I didn't care for them.
Oh,
Apologies, Charles.
nothing to apologise for. That's nice to hear. Aye, I'm sure those years, though that experience, though, is you were learning something from it. Are you not?
Yes, the members of my house are fools.
Still, if you were living in comfort, that would not make you the man you may one day become.
True.
This is after all the philosophy of House Talus that we learn through our conflicts, through our struggles, through our striving. Hard places and hard lives breed hard men, and it is hard men that will change the world.
Yeah, sometimes change can be good, but sometimes change can be bad as well.
Better to grow strong, but you have the power to determine that change than to say waste away clinging on to life forever.
Oh, I do agree with you on that part. I will certainly. Just growing old in a dusty old winter covenant is not particularly alluring, shall we say.
Speak for yourself. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Do you want to talk more? Or should we do a scene cut?
I think we can probably do a scene cut, but I will, during the travel south, I will certainly take opportunity to just converse with Charles. You know, he's a well-travelled man. It'd be foolish not to.
Yeah. Okay.
Ask him what he thinks about Ireland.
Yeah, I definitely try and.
That hasn't been raised yet as a potential location. They haven't found a location yet for Ireland. I suppose we could ask him if he knows of any. Yeah, we could certainly ask him, actually.
It was raised in character. We did ask about it in one of our scenes. Yeah,
Okay.
we did.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe I asked my parent about it.
He's not particularly knowledgeable about Ireland. As in his patch is sort of the North Sea, which but and again, for him, his land home is Normandy, so which is of course is the other side. So yeah, while he may know England and somewhat, and possibly Scotland a little bit, Ireland is again a bit further across. I mean, he's been to Ireland at some point, but he doesn't really know it very well.
So mostly England, Scotland, France. That's where he goes.
Yeah, well,
he knows the Low Countries as well.
Yeah,
because he'll go round Denmark to Ludburg. That's the main trading port of the Holy Roman Empire at the moment. Hamburg is the smaller of the two.
Yeah.
So he's been close to Norway.
Yeah, he would have been. Yeah.
I'll definitely ask him about the Low Countries, specifically Flanders, since I have heritage there.
He has been there. I mean, yeah, he probably feels more at home there because after they understand French, don't they? I think.
I believe. Yeah.
So, yeah, he's had a good experience putting the port there.
Anyway, I just conversed with him. Antwerp is the big port there, isn't it?
Okay, you travel for however long it is. I haven't figured out how long the sea passage takes. The weather is good. What a shock! And you arrive in London. Okay. Gareth, you might want to read those few pages I referenced you read because it is sort of relevant. Okay. Now, for some of you, this is going to be a colossal culture shock. Now, you've seen York, which is the biggest city of the north. That's 8,000 people. London, not that you could count that high, has a population of 200,000.
Jesus,
This
that makes
is a city beyond your imagining, possibly.
I mean, York was beyond my imagining, so.
so I'm sitting there going.
So yeah, if you've never seen a city like this before, it's most at this point on the north side of the Thames, so it's not like it's split the way modern London is by the Thames. And you could obviously sail right up Thames and get dropped off in the middle of it. It is colossal. There are obviously towering above the spire line. There are the great, cathedrals, and the church spires. Over at one end, you'll pass the way in. The great white keep of the Tower of London. The castle, prison, fortress built by the Norman occupiers, depending on your point of view. So obviously there's a colossal stench of the city, of far too many humans living too close together. Plenty of animals around, of course, plenty of birds and seabirds around the port, plenty of rats, plenty of other urban animals. So yes, there's a definite moment of this is something very new to us.
I'm just like, it's so much worse than York.
So
okay, that's old St. Paul's, which is in the current era. I think is the era we're in.
It's not the modern St. Paul's. In fact, technically it's under construction at this point. Old St. Paul's is still being built.
Right.
Is there quite a heavy Dominion aura hitting us, or
you don't automatically know aura strength? This one have to spell to detect it.
It's a town. There's going to be a Dominion aura.
Yeah.
Right. Well, as we're along the Thames, I'll ask Charles if he knows any suitable inns that we could stay at. If any recommendations? Because
yes, he or his crew could certainly recommend some inns to stay in. He might suggest the nicer inns are probably not the ones immediately by the docks.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so we'll take we'll take one of his recommendations basically.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Right. You travel through London. The streets are crowded. You find the suitable inns and make arrangements for lodgings. That's no problem. Well, actually, does someone do one quick social roll just to navigate that without problems?
Yeah. Gareth, probably.
Oh God, what did I do?
Sort us out some room and board at an inn. Make a bargain roll.
What should I roll for this?
I don't
Bargain?
Yeah, presence and bargain's fine.
Okay.
Just a quick roll just to cover the whole process.
All right. So that's presence plus bargain. I don't think you have any other modifiers. So, all right. Especially since most of the innkeepers are going to be male.
Yep.
I'd like to speak to your wife, sir. Get out. My total result, I believe, is 10.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you managed to make arrangements for suitable lodging somewhere.
Nathan,
okay.
before
also,
we get off the boat, can I ask a seagull something?
Sorry? What's that?
Can I ask a seagull something?
Yeah.
While we're on the boat? Can I ask if the seagulls noticed anyone queer like Charles? Like anyone that's strange like Charles?
The gift isn't that obvious.
Not enough that they notice just flying around anyway.
Gotcha.
You don't. When Nathan says you feel uneasy, it's subconscious. Consciously,
Okay, gotcha.
you don't feel it. It's a subconscious thing.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. Okay. Also, whilst you're traveling through London and you're obviously talking to people at the inn, you hear talk that there's something called a folk moot is planned for tomorrow outside next to St. Paul's.
Okay. Do we know what a folk moot is?
It's not a term you're familiar with. It's not a term
Alright.
up north.
Play the uneducated peddler from the north and ask, what does that mean?
Oh. It's where the men get together and assemble to discuss matters of import.
Okay. So is it like, do they have sort of authority in this ginormous city of yours then, or is it just people of the town just?
Well, we have the folk moot at St. Paul's, so we have the ward moots in each ward. That's how London's governed. We're free Londoners here.
Okay, so your wards are just districts of the town, are they?
Town? This is London. Stupid northerner.
Oh, Micah is entirely playing that card. And
I'm actually going. Sorry, go ahead.
And St. Paul's was the one being built near the river.
Yeah, you can see the spire over there.
Yes.
Greatest cathedral in all the land.
I'll look at it and I think I'm not sure. I'll look at it. Is York Minster taller than that? What we saw being built? Look at.
Well, it might be taller than at this exact moment, but
This one's still being built. So
yeah. Okay. And I know we're not townsfolk, but can we go and listen to what's going on there tomorrow?
yeah, all are welcome. Here we talk about matters openly.
I am a little confused. So perhaps the South is very different than the North, but you say you have folk moots where the men of import in the town get together and decide things, and then you also have these ward moots. But the folk moot is for everyone in the city, or just people in this neighborhood, or?
Well, we have a ward moot in each ward, and the great folk moot.
Okay. So the folk moot is the larger one.
Yes.
All right, and between the folk moot and the ward moots, all matters are decided?
Well, I suppose so. What do you mean by all matters?
Well, he looks kind of awkward, like...
Yeah, well, out in the countryside, you have like nobles and barons, don't you? Well, this is a city, and we're a free city with a free charter, an ancient and proud city.
Oh, so there are no nobles?
Well, there are nobles, but we're Londoners.
So, in other words, they're saying the nobles have no power. At least according to these people.
Well, you know what I say. Every Londoner is the same rank as a baron of England.
Look very confused at that statement. Wow.
But you all still serve the king, yes?
Yeah, barons below the king, yes. With all our ancient rights and liberties.
So, all right. Thank you. He seems to have questions, and he's not going to ask this guy. Nope, I've gotten what I need from this guy.
Okay.
So, we're at the inn. Get some food. Try some London food.
Okay.
By the way, are there any guards patrolling the streets like there were in York?
I mean, they're not like. It depends what you mean by that. I mean,
men at arms basically patrolling the city
They're,
watch.
they're not like patrolling everywhere, but there are virtual people around.
Who do they work for? Like, do they have noble heraldry, or do they answer to these moots?
Well, you ask around. They answer to the mayor of London.
Ah.
And there's also the mayor has 2 sheriffs.
Aha. Ooh, 2. Is one of them very pale and just hangs around at night? No, I'm just kidding. This is not White Wolf. Not that one.
And
Sorry.
there's 24 wards, and there's an older man in each ward.
Like an elder, essentially.
Yeah, most
And all
of them are old.
And they basically answer to the mayor. Okay.
So I say so London it's north of the Thames. It's a huge walled city. One at the east end there's the Great Tower of London. At the near the west end there's the St. Paul's.
I'm going to look at the rest of the party when we're behind closed doors and be like, how do they expect to get anything done?
I have no idea, to be honest.
I don't really care, to be honest.
It's just this seems like madness.
There's just too many people in one place.
Yes.
Well, I suggest we go to this moot tomorrow. That should give us the vibe of the townsfolk. If you're going to rabble rouse, it seems a perfect place for it. So
Yeah.
And we have not heard anything about this William yet.
no,
We haven't asked
asked.
about it.
Perhaps he will be mentioned.
Yeah, I don't want to tip our hand. Let's go to this moot first, see if he's there or see if he's discussed. Then we can, if someone talks, if we can hear it from somebody, then we know it's gossip in town. If it's not, if it's an unspoken thing, we don't want to go start asking questions because it'll get us noticed.
Yeah.
So that's tomorrow. With St. Paul's under construction, I will want to actually go there anyway because I want to see if the Masons Guild will be the ones doing it. So I would like to create some contacts there for the long term. So we'll go to this moot, then afterwards, as it is at St. Paul's, I may stay a while to do other business.
Okay, so we'll do a scene cut to the next day where you're attending the folk moot.
Cool.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, so let's see. I think we've got some pictures here. Let's have a look. Yes. So I think that is St. Paul's, or I say it's not the modern one; it's the old one. But currently it's under construction. But it's still there's still many years of work to go on it. But next to St. Paul's, there are this is a bit of a shock to you. There is quite literally a crowd numbered in the thousands.
Wow.
It's probably like the population. That's the population of York in one place at one meeting.
Twitch.
Yeah.
And
I will turn quietly. It's like, Herman, do you want to go back to the inn with Alfred? Because if they get irksome at you, that's gonna be problematic.
I kind of say,
okay,
I think they'll be too distracted to notice him unless he starts talking.
Just stay quiet in the back. Just
they're not particularly noticing you because you're just facing the crowd.
yeah.
So
They look at you, feel vague disgust, and move on.
there is someone's addressing the huge crowd. At the top, this is a tall man who's speaking to the great assembly. I am the saviour of the poor. Do ye, O poor, who have experienced the heaviness of rich man's hands, drink from my wells the waters of the doctrine of salvation, and ye may do this joyfully. For the time of your visitation is at hand, for I will divide the waters from the waters, The people are the waters. I will divide the humble from the haughty and treacherous. I will separate the elect from the reprobate as light from darkness.
Hmm.
So on. For those of you who've read the Bible, you might be reminiscent of the Sermon on the Mount in terms of the general speaker speaking to the masses.
He thinks he's Jesus.
As to there seems a lot of this popular acclaim. This is clearly a charismatic speaker, incredibly charismatic.
Is there any sort of magic in his words?
Nothing's hitting your palmar.
Okay. So it's either punching through my palmar or it's not.
Okay, do you want to do perception, alertnessy type rolls? Awareness?
Sure.
Yep.
I have a specialty in urban. Woohoo!
Perception, and you said awareness, or okay.
No.
Let me roll.
I rolled a 9 plus 2, 11. About the best I can do. About running the crit.
It's number sign D10, is it?
It's hash 1d10.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got a 5 total. 4 plus 1.
Right.
I got 11 total.
Okay. With that 11, right, you notice, of course, there's a lot of people around. There are a lot of Londoners, there's a lot of other outsiders, interested parties. But you do happen to notice, while you're looking around thinking, is there magic here? Is there magic here? I'm not sure. You do notice another group suspiciously loitering on the periphery, watching, a bit like yourselves. It appears to be a group of 5 good, hardy fellows who, by their dress, you would recognise as Welshmen.
Okay. I will.
One of them has it's like he's got like a 6-foot stave, which has been wrapped up in cloth for travel.
Yeah. I will nudge sort of Gareth first, point them out, and then Herman sort of thing.
Yeah.
They remind me of a couple of those fellows we met in York the other year.
Hmm.
I'm going to start making my way around to them. Why not? Just start sort of quite. I'm a small man as far as I'm skinny. I'm just going to trying to shuffle through and.
By yourself or anyone else, or
I don't know what these guys are doing.
well, Ultrid gives you a look.
I'll point him towards Herman.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to stand by Ultrid.
Okay.
Yeah, sort of. I'm make my way around. I'm not trying to be sneaky or anything like that. I'm just trying to go over to them, sort of thing. If they notice me, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. Sure. Okay, yeah, you go over to them. They obviously notice you as you get closer.
Yeah. So give them a respectful nod.
They look at you. Yeah. Yes.
You fellas don't look like you're from these parts either. You come to see this speaker?
They look at each other.
Saying in a thick northern accent.
G'day, Gov. That's good.
Our business is our own, says the one in the middle.
Hey, didn't mean to pry, but he sounds really
What are
good.
you doing here?
We came to sell some wool from.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I'll step up and be like, how to put this? Cue my character coming in and being like, yes, we are.
Really? You've come all the way down from, what was it, Wilton to sell some wool?
Well, we're peddlers. We sell what we can, where we can. Hopefully we'll have something more profitable on the way back.
I put my hand in front of you. We never said we were from Wilton. And raise an eyebrow.
Correct.
Wasn't even listening to what he said where. I just heard him say, like, why are you here selling wool?
Pay attention.
But that's where you're from, isn't it?
I wonder where that makes you from then.
You're a long way from home.
As are you.
Okay, this is with a. Okay, so there's 5 of them. The 4 seem to be deferring to one in the middle. He's looking at both of you. You still apprentices, are you?
I'm just gonna look at him with a slight, just deadpan look at him. I'm not gonna respond either way on that front. So it's in a. But come for the show then?
Yes, if you like.
Back in the main performer?
I don't know. Is there something more entertaining I should be watching?
No. We're just curious to see if there are any.
She turns to look at Gareth.
Is it a she? Sorry.
It's he. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're all men. He turns to look at Gareth. And what are you doing here then?
Wait, he looks kind of confused. Like, you've already established I came with him.
Yes.
And
But you're being awfully quiet. It's a shame.
Usually that's not how people complain about me.
That is true.
Oh. You like to talk, do you?
When I have something to say.
Well, as I said, our business is our own, and none of yours.
Yep, and I completely agree with that. We wouldn't want to infringe upon your enjoyment of the day's events. But nice to meet you. By the way, how old does this fellow look?
They all look in their 30s.
Okay, so
what language are we? I just don't realize what language are you speaking in.
I would have been speaking in English at this point because I went up to them as a commoner from.
Okay, yeah. Okay, they will respond in quite, shall we say, bad English.
Yeah. Because this era, how common, how prolific is the Welsh language still? Is it still a major language at this point?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm simplified because English is not really one coherent language at this point. There's lots of different regional dialects, quite probably. So, yeah, I think Welsh is still, yes. Well, Wales is still multiple separate countries, and there are many different. Yeah, Welsh is a different language for game terms.
Yeah, that's cool.
Ultrad's attention is on them, right? Just like he's watching to make sure nothing happens.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yep. Bid them good day, and I wish them well in their endeavours in the city.
Right. So the speaker is going on. I think hopefully you've got the gist from what I read out earlier.
Yep.
So yeah, speaking of the savior of the poor, and the heaviness of rich man's hands, and you'll get this. There are definite, like, you might see with our town guard, I guess, or some equivalent around, but this is a large mob. There's a definite atmosphere here. This is just like a well, I can't use the term powder cake, but you know, it feels like this things could well boil over.
Yeah. Make our way back to Ulfred and Herman. And suggest
Mike, was that the Welshman we thought it was? Were those the Welshmen we thought they were?
yeah, he'll just nod. Yeah. I'd suggest we Michael quietly say that we step back a bit from this mob, this crowd.
One more thing, Gareth. I think it needs you to make a second sight roll.
Yay! What is that? Perception and second sight?
Yep.
No awareness?
No.
All right, hold on.
It's attribute plus ability, basically. You don't double stack abilities.
I got a 9, it looks like, which means 10.
Okay. I'm just checking the second sight description, but yeah, that sounds good.
Well, because I rolled a 9 and it's +1, so.
It's going to be irritating woman that chewed us out at the inn, basically, under an illusion spell. I got that. Well, that's what I'm presuming from her mannerisms. Well, his mannerisms.
Oh God, Curse of Venus.
I would just think that theoretically, is it modified by the aura strength?
No, because
it's a skill, not a spell. I don't think.
No, because it's a supernatural ability, and yes, supernatural abilities are modified. But as you've only got it at, what's your second sight at? 1.
1
goes back down to 0, so it still rolls a 9.
Okay, fine. Okay. Yes, yeah. You realise that Welshman speaking to you was under some kind of illusion.
But I don't see through it.
I'm just checking. Do you see through it?
Yes, you will. If he knows it's illusion, he'll see through it.
Yes, you see through it, and yes, you recognise it. It's the same woman you met in York before.
Called it.
I'll quietly murmur that to them as we're walking.
You also see there's a couple of naturally invisible spirits floating around them as well.
That we already knew about. I don't even need to mention that. They know about that from last time. But I'll just be like, she looks about the same as she did last time.
I'll just go York.
Yes.
One with the attitude problem.
I was skeptical they were actually involved.
Well, let's back off a little bit. Caleb says quietly.
Okay.
Daniel is apologising, by the way, on Facebook, saying stuff came up. But yeah, if this feels like a powder keg, let's back off a little bit. We don't want to get caught up in a riot, even if it's not directed at us.
So where are we backing up? Just generally away from here?
Yeah, let's just, make sure, is this speaker trying to gesticulate in any particular, like, is he pointing towards the west, towards a tower, or to down the river to Windsor, or the other place where the royalty is at this era, which is actually outside of London? No, because he doesn't care about the royalty. He likes the royalty. It's the barons he doesn't like. Oh, God knows that. But
no, he's not gesturing in any way in particular.
Okay, just stay on the fringe of the mob, basically. So stuff we can hopefully get out of dodge. And start sort of the people around us. People already at the back of the mob anyway. Start sort of maybe trying to interact a bit with them to, on the facade of we're new to the city as Northerners, sort of, wow, this guy is really good. What's
Yeah. Okay.
and stuff like that.
Actually, long beards are certainly coming back into fashion down here. As in, they've not been the fashion lately. But the speaker suddenly got this incredibly impressive, very long beard. That he is. William Fitzosbert, they call him. Says he's was on the crusade. Fought the side of King Richard himself against the Saracen.
Wow. And he's returned. Did King Richard then send him to London here to take charge then?
I don't know. I heard he went to Normandy and met with King Richard and then came back here.
Oh, he must have the blessing of the king then.
Okay. You'll get the sense as it's moving on that there are people who are swearing loyalty by oath to this William at the front. Yeah. And they say he grows his beard in the old-fashioned, the ancient English tradition, as a sign of his hatred of our Norman masters.
Just nod along with this, because Caleb has a little stubble these days, but that's about as much as he gets. He's a little more rough-hewn now, but he's nowhere near has a beard. Mike,
have you heard the latest news?
What?
So London merchants were down at Stanford Fair, and they got arrested just for being Londoners.
What? Why would they arrest just because you're Londoners? That seems.
I know. I think the hostages against the city revolting.
Oh, that's not good. That's going to be messy. Is he said he's gonna go and get him back then, or?
I don't know. It's only going to make the situation worse. It's time we should rise up, our brothers. Let's rise up. I mean, for years they've been imposing taxes upon us, taking all our wealth, and it's like the rich never pay. They always get away with it, don't they? They tax the poor. The rich never have to pay. Who ransomed back the king when he was captured? The poor of England. It's not with the king. It's with the fat barons, the fat nobles, the whole corrupt system that's been milking the poor and infringing our ancient sacred rights as Londoners and Englishmen.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I don't understand how you lot function, because I'm from a manor up north. There's a noble. There's no manors here. Don't understand it.
But we're not serfs. We're free men.
Yeah. Don't. Yeah, you're well privileged.
Yeah, we're not bound to the land like some common peasant.
Look, Grum. Look, put a sad face at that. But yeah, just. Again, let him talk, see what information we get out of him. I'm not going to challenge him or anything, because I certainly don't want to challenge him in this mob.
Yeah, so that's the small talk vibe you're getting from people here.
Yeah. So yeah, really taken with him. Well, quite happy to sit and let it drift along. Keep an eye out. Okay. Did our Blackthorn associates stay, or did they drift off after we left them?
They've moved around a bit. They're still around generally. Okay.
But yeah, unless anybody else, I'm quite happy to let the scene play out at this point.
Okay, there's other people wearing public oaths of loyalty to William.
Yeah, the guy with the forgettable face is going to fade into the crowd and not do that.
Yeah. Good use of that virtue. Okay.
So I'm just going to kind of look and be like, once we're no longer in danger of being overheard too easily, just be like, so I take it none of us saw anything that directly leads us to think so far that the man is doing anything unusual other than the entirety of his speech. Nothing to do with our people that we saw.
Yeah, it's not surprising Blackthorn have some people here. Yeah.
No, they are likely investigating the exact same thing we are, at the very least. Much as I would love to pin this on them.
Is it very common for this type of thing to happen in cities? Like, does this happen more?
Out of character, this is quite unknown, isn't it? This sort of phenomenon, Nath?
Democracy? Yes!
Well, that's not really good. This is a mob, not a democracy.
We haven't had... later in history, you get peasant revolts, but they're more rural-based, and they're like 100 years away. This kind of uprising among a major city, this is practically unknown in this period.
So it's highly unusual, but...
Do you think he really was a crusader, or...?
Could be.
What we should find out is if this man has someone whispering in his ear.
Or something.
Either. But please don't. Please, let's not start seeing those in every corner. But in any case,
I had hoped we wouldn't see our Welsh friends here, so we could just go back home.
I'm not surprised though, because they are a Blackthorn, whatever you think of them. They are a competent covenant that has maintained a stranglehold of power. You don't do that with ignoring things like this.
I suppose.
Well, in any case, they are. It is safe to assume they are likely either responsible for this or investigating it. I'm tending to lean towards investigating it. If they were responsible for it, there's little need for them to be standing at the site unless there was something unusual going on, which none of us seem to detect.
It must be kind of odd for them to be rabble-rousing any of them. It seems below them.
It's also something that could get them in trouble. They'd have to have something major to gain by it to do it.
And that's what I can't yet work out a motive why they'd want to do this.
Julia said to get power in the city, but
it's irrelevant. If they wanted power in the city, they would use Bristol. It's it's a major port still. It's outside of London. It's, as far as I understand it, a similar size to York. Not that much difference in it.
As I said before, I think Julia sees Blackthorn everywhere.
Yes, I agree. But we need to be thorough. We can't just... So, anyway. So, it'll be useful to see where he goes when he finishes this, whenever this finishes. To understand where he lodges, or at least what part of town.
Okay.
And I imagine she from Blackthorn would have a distinct advantage if she has ephemeral beings with her.
Yeah, definitely. She's probably using it to spy all over the city, I imagine.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Right. Okay. Well, I mean, the folk boot draws to a close. And yeah, so lots of people have sorrows. There's those. The crowd started to disperse off as people get hungry. William, accompanied by obviously some people, started to make their way down away, or possibly disappear into the crowd.
I'm not intending to try and pick him up and trail him today. I don't know if Gareth or Herman want to try and do that, but I'm against that for day one in the city trying to follow a guy in an unfamiliar city seems like asking for trouble. Plus, I want a personal business I want to attend to.
Yeah.
I'm going to investigate, by the way. Some merchants were arrested.
Yes.
I'm going to quietly inquire as to they were local merchants, apparently. Any names, vocations?
You ask around. Yeah, well, they were residents of London who were merchants, were visiting Stamford Fair and got arrested. It happened today, so the news only just got back. There's no particular list of names.
Where is Stamford relative to London?
Stamford Fair. We can have to get out the Google Maps.
Presumably, it's one of their districts, essentially.
Oh, it's like
No, it's outside of London, I presume.
yes,
Okay.
it's outside. Yes, I suspect it's probably not outside London today, but it is outside London now.
Yeah, they have like a huge fair there, I think, every...
Stamford is.
Oh, Stamford Bridge. It's going to be where Chelsea is, isn't it? Because that's their football ground. So I don't know where Chelsea is. So it's on the west side. It's on the west side of London, by the looks of it.
Yeah,
Fulham.
it's close to London, but outside the city limits.
Yeah, it's beyond Westminster. So Westminster, I think you've got the city of London. St Paul's is literally the heart of London. And if you go westwards down the river, you get to Westminster, where Parliament is in the real modern era. I don't know if that exists at the moment, but that's where Big Ben is. Then past that, you'll probably then come in, you'll go to Battersea Park, and that's where the greenery starts now. Kensington, Hyde Park, Battery Park. So this is probably outside of London now, but relatively close to it. And that's where, Stamford Bridge is. Stamford, that is near Fulham. Because where's the Tower of London?
The tower's in the East End.
Is that? I thought it was, okay, yeah. East End is Tower, yeah. Yeah, I guess Westminster would mark the West End of this era. I don't know what, because Westminster, I think, did exist.
I do have a period map of the city, actually. So,
yeah, I think Westminster exists to some degree at this era.
Anyway,
I was just trying to find out who. Is there any way I could maybe? I don't know. I'm kind of wondering it would help to know. There's multiple reasons he has for wanting to investigate this, but one of them he will mention is if the local authorities have taken that kind of drastic measure, we might want to investigate further and see what they've got planned. Because if this is going to come to a head in the next couple days, which it looks like it might, we might want to have a heads up.
The merchants could also have been doing something like not paying taxes.
Yeah, but we should probably check on that.
I'm fine with going to Stanford, especially if it's out of the city, because I do not like the city. If you want to go down there. I don't know, how far away is it from...
not entirely sure. Okay, we'll have a look. We'll have a look into it. John, tell you what, Gareth, do you want to do some kind of gossipy type roll to see if you pick up anything else?
What type of roll?
I know. Presents and I know what's good.
Skills that would apply to this. Guile, maybe?
Guile's more lying, but Guile's lying. Okay, it's going to be seen through lies. But I think you do. Yeah, do folk care. Go on. Yeah,
Where are you trying to talk to?
it's near Chelsea.
Yep.
So.
I got a 9 in folk ken altogether.
Okay, sure. Okay, general gossip. Yeah, it's merchants of London. It appears to be probably people from. Some people say it's from the Drapers Guild, or some people say it's from the Mercers Guild. But it's just. It sounds like it was just a collection of. You can tell them at the fair. You're from London. We're arresting you. You're now hostages. Is what people are saying. Obviously, you might be getting a slightly biased interpretation of the story, but that's what people are saying.
Maybe a bit around here, yeah. So, Gareth, what do you think? Should we investigate it, or?
He looks kind of torn, like he wants to and he doesn't.
What did you do, Roll? Yeah?
No, I didn't. What did you want me to roll that?
Yeah, you rolled too. Yeah.
Also the roll of 9. You also get there's a rumor that they've ordered the arrest of any Londoners caught outside the city.
Oh, really?
We're not Londoners, fortunately.
Yeah, we're not Londoners.
No.
But what's the roll you want me to make?
No.
Folk and perception.
Yeah.
No,
Perception and
folk and communication.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because
Oh, okay, I can do that. Is there a woman I can talk to?
What's this for?
Yeah, go on then. Yeah, you have your +3 from. You can go gossip with the woman folk.
It's +4 because I have a specialty opposite sex for Folkhead.
Go on then.
Okay, so it's going to be 1d10, and the bonus is Folkkin of 2 +1 for opposite sex. Communication 2, and then +3 from that 5. Jesus Christ. Okay, +8. That's a 13.
Okay. Yes, the gossip is someone by the name of Hubert Walter has ordered the arrest of any Londoners outside the city. And an attempt to try and force Londoners to remove this leader.
Oh,
and
you also get this passive way.
You also get this William figure. He's not from any kind of particular prestigious background. He's like a local man, son of someone lower middle class, not very important. He's still come from nowhere. And you also get the stuff about the long beard is that he's adopted ancient English tradition as to show his hatred of the Normans.
Huh. Yeah, we heard that. Okay.
Anything else to say?
But I don't hear anything else about the names of the merchants or anything like that, other than they might be from the Drapers.
You hear it. It's probably members of there's 5 guilds in London. Members of the Drapers Guild, that's the one who deals with cloth, and the Mercers Guild, who also deal with cloth, especially silks.
God damn it!
This would have covered the chapter I told you to read.
I'm going to make some basic. How hard would it be, given how long it's been for my character, for me to find, family?
You know where you
just check on them.
Yeah, you know where you used to live. I mean, that's doable.
Okay, cool. He's going to very carefully check on them and be like, anyone missing?
What do you mean? How you're going to walk up to the front door?
He was more going to observe them quietly and see, does he see his father, yada, yada, yada.
Are you going up alone to do this, or are you going
bad idea for anyone to go alone in this city, so I'll have to tell someone. I'll tell Herman and Micah.
Explain to them.
He's just going to be like, so you know how they said there might be some from the Drapers Guild who were taken?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I have family here who are clothers. I would just like to make sure they weren't caught up in this.
That seems entirely reasonable.
I'm not looking for a family reunion. I haven't exactly kept in contact with them. Plus the whole converting thing and getting married. I don't really want to get into that. But we could at least...
Are you from London?
Originally. I was taken away from here very young. But let's go check, I suppose.
That seems perfectly reasonable.
That's fine with me.
So you guys spend the rest of the evening just staking out Gareth's family's home.
Basically.
Right.
I mean, I could use my ability if I could get up to the house itself. I could use one of my I've got that one spell, but I'd kind of have to have a discreet place to do it, like an adjoining alley or something. If I could get to an adjoining alley, I could use the prying eyes spell.
Okay.
Which lets me look inside like adjoining rooms. That could be.
Is it a room or a building? I can't remember. Is it a room or a structure?
It's a room. It's a room.
Okay.
Usually. But if I'm touching the outside wall and that wall is of a room, that'll work. I'll only get the nearest room to that wall if I.
Yes. Yeah.
But that still gives me an eye inside, which is very helpful. And it just looks like I'm leaning against the wall.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've found the place. So you've not been back here for how many years?
Close to 15 now, I guess.
Yeah, getting there.
So, okay. You get the sense that they're essentially, I mean, metaphorically speaking, boarded the windows, as in houses around here. This is obviously a more of a nicer part of town where people have money. They're boarded. They're digging in. There's not many people coming and going a lot casually.
Hey, well, is there an adjoining alley?
Just nearby, I guess.
Well, the idea was to go up next to it and do the prying eyes spell with yeah.
Well, you could do let me think about that. Well, you could do. Well, hang on. Have you learnt it from Berkeley?
Yeah.
You can probably cast it anyway, can't you?
Yeah, I don't think he's worried about casting it. I think he's having the ability, the setting to do it in. Is there an alley next to this house that you can go and touch the wall for?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to confirm.
Oh, right.
Because I can only get the outer rooms and each individual.
Okay. I mean, there's not a convenient alley next to the house because it's all houses next to each other. But you can go up to the front or the back.
That'll have to do. If we loiter around the back, it's going to be a little suspicious, but not if we're only there for a couple minutes. So we can do that.
Alfred and Herman, do you want to wait on the main street? Because having Alfred,
we don't have a whole crowd there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll watch your back, Gareth.
All right, I'll make it to roll. Let's see, how do I do this crap again? Prying Eyes is a Intellego Amaganem.
Yep.
It is level 5, so it is a really easy spell. My Intellego is 5, and my Amaganem is 5.
Just don't watch.
Yeah, I'll just.
You've got penalties for. Well, you've got penalties for Dominion. You also got penalties. You don't do spellworks or hand gestures. But yeah, you're going to cast it regardless because if you miss it by 10, you still cast at least for 2.
I got a 6 plus 10 plus. I don't know what else you had.
Okay.
I think we got it.
You peer into the front room. You see, you see someone who you think is your father, but of course he's 50 years older.
Is he just reading or?
Yeah, he's doing paperwork.
You're like, okay. Sigh of relief. All right, we're done here.
You then see a 12-year-old girl come into the room.
Oh, look, I have a sister.
I really hope you know some decent boundaries at least.
What?
Don't worry, I didn't say anything. You're an engaged man.
You are a sick bastard. Do you know that?
I've grown up around you long enough. I know what you're like.
I think you mean Herman.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways. All right, well, saw what I needed to see.
Right.
Okay, if you're happy, let's get going.
Okay.
Just wanted to make sure his father wasn't caught up in it, so that's it.
You're making your way back to your lodgings. Okay, yeah, fine. You get back safely. The night passes. You get up the next day.
What's the plan now?
Well, I want to run a small errand. I want to go and speak to the Masons at the cathedral. I would like to do that today. As yesterday, obviously, we didn't really have a chance with that mob loitering around for the good part of the day.
Come back today, the place is smoldering in ruin.
Yeah. But what in the privacy of our own room at the inn, what do we genuinely think of this fellow then? You know, any... I certainly don't think it's a Blackthorn plot, because I don't see what they have to gain. And to be honest, having the decree that London merchants are to be arrested outside of London, that's going to hurt a lot of trade.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the Red Caps of Coventry haven't tried to do something about it or request aid from the Magi of the Order, because that's going to massively impact their businesses.
I mean, the city must think this guy's very dangerous if they're going through all that.
Yeah. Out of character, Nave.
Yeah.
Magna Carta, has that already been signed once?
No, that's 12:15.
No.
Okay.
It's coming up, but it's not here yet.
All right. My history's a little sketchy, so dates I'm not particularly great on.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. I mean, I think he seemed genuine in his beliefs, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just a little... It concerns me common men are swearing oaths to this fellow.
Yeah, that is strange.
Some men are charismatic. I know that much, as does Herman, but it is unusual for someone to be this charismatic. I personally did not find him that charismatic. But each to their own, I suppose. To the average unwashed citizens here, perhaps it is... Well, in any event, so far we have found no evidence that there is anything of interest to the Order, other than simple information, of course. We have no evidence that Blackthorn is involved, other than their presence, and all we have seen shows that they are investigating the matter much as we are, and being just as discreet. So, unless there is a suggestion as to how to get close to this man to investigate further and see who he interacts with, and if any of them ring any alarm bells.
Which we should do to be thorough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Question is how to get close to him.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I don't know. Because I don't know, we're not. I doubt we're just going to run into him across this ginormous city.
I don't think. I imagine also if we do, he'd have a ton of
Followers.
followers. Yes.
Yeah, to be honest, I imagine the man it won't be hard to find if we choose to. Imagine just asking the common folk. We want to, we want
But
to.
if we go that route, we will be under heavy scrutiny, and it will make it very difficult to learn anything. But that may be the only way to do it.
Mm-hmm. What about? Do you have any? Amaganem, do the same trick that she did. Change your appearance.
I know of very little.
Okay. Herman, you're relatively talented with Muto, are you not?
I am, yes, but I have no skill in Meganum.
Or we do it the old-fashioned way and just...
What? Go up and beat the shit out of it? No, I'm just kidding. That's the really old-fashioned way.
Yeah. I was more going to say we just use some mundane means to try and look not like ourselves for a short time.
Find some dirt.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Find some dirt, maybe buy some dye.
Go from being peddlers to paupers.
Do either of you experience? Do either of you have any experience in such things?
Experience, no, but can't be that hard.
No. Well, as I said, I would like to go to St. Paul's this morning. To see the Masons. While there, to be honest, I maybe I'd get some information there. As he used that as his grand stadium yesterday. I imagine any of the workmen there that will may have some information about where this man can be found.
Masons are well-off folk, aren't they?
Masons are the only international guild that exists in this era because they build such big projects. They're not localized. They travel around Europe, basically.
Okay, yeah.
They're also the only guild where people routinely learn their letters because they have to read plans and make plans. So they are actually Latin speakers. They're the only guild that usually is. Apart from the Scribes Guild, obviously, but that's a little different again. Okay.
So I'm assuming you want accompaniment there because of the city's size?
Yeah, I don't want to go out on my own because
Or
I think that's foolish. And, I grew up in the city, but this is something else.
Okay, so you make your way back across the city to St. Paul's. Yes, there are those labourers under the direction of masons at work, gradually building it. As I said, it's many years off being finished.
Yeah.
And there are also priests around. I mean, it is still in use as well.
Yeah.
And there are certainly, there's also people with long beards around who are meet here and talking.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm interested in speaking with a mason. I put it plainly to when we get over there, and hopefully, I don't anticipate getting to the mason in charge, but a mason if I can.
Okay. How are you presenting?
I'm still looking like a peddler, I guess, because I don't want to break that entirely. But I'm certainly better spoken now. I'm not, I'm losing a thick northern accent a bit more.
Make some kind of social role to talk your way into speaking with an appointment time.
Yeah, etiquette.
Yeah, sure.
D10. Oh, come on. That's a D10, which is a 0. So I guess that's probably a botch, Clay. Or is it a simple or a stress roll?
Dice. Yeah, make just I don't know. I'm say 2 botched dice. That's just because the general tension in the city.
Yeah. Okay. 8 and 4.
No, you can't. Okay. No, clear off for you. You peddler. Go and learn a decent trade.
Okay. That's what I came here to ask about. The mason's trade. I turn around to that comment.
You can look you up and down. You've clearly not got the muscles for it, lad. Clear off.
I will say in perfect Latin, no, but I do have the education for it.
Okay, no, you've got a 0. You're not going to stick with that. Okay.
No, I got a 0 plus 5.
Oh, you got 5. Okay.
I got etiquette and communication skills.
Okay, so it's still only 5.
It's not great, but it's not a 0.
No, they tell you to clear off. You haven't hit the base even a 6. So that's a clear off.
Yep. Okay.
I
will leave them be. I will come back another time, probably as myself. Pain in the asses.
Right.
Caleb looks slightly frustrated. Oh well, swing and a miss. Anyway, I guess we sort of start asking around about where that leader from yesterday, where is he? Where does he make his stand in the city?
William, he moves around, stays with friends all over the city.
When's the next sort of big gathering?
Oh, they'll probably be this afternoon, I guess. I know, maybe St. Paul's again, I would think.
Cool. Be enthusiastic and
Okay.
sort of thing.
Make a roll on some social need type roll.
Guile or Folkkin?
No, go, but you actively be deceitful, so guile.
Yeah, that's good. Clever. Speciality mundanes.
Okay.
Yay!
5, 8 plus 3, 11.
Well, they've got a 0, so you fooled them. Yeah. Have you come down to support him?
We heard rumours about him up north. We want to come down and see what this is all about.
I reckon it's all going to kick off soon. We've got the weapons stashed ready.
Wow. Because we heard yesterday that some of the folks, the nobles are arresting the folks in the city.
No way London's going to stand for that.
So what? You're going to march on this baron's lands in Stamford, wherever that is?
I don't know what the plan is. Maybe we'll go to Stamford. Maybe we'll storm the Tower of London itself. Outside of our Norman oppressors.
Wow.
Listen, they say he's got, tens of thousands of people he could put in the field, and we've got caches of weapons ready.
Wow. That's incredible. How do you manage? God, the nobles are really useless then, aren't they, down here? Idiots.
Well, that's all they do. The corrupt nobility squeeze in the poor. The poor have had enough. We can't have an England where the rich tax the poor into the dirt and get away with it.
Damn right. Huh. Okay, so back here this afternoon then.
Yes. Yeah, be ready.
Okay. Be enthusiastic.
Okay.
Walk back. And then we have to tell these guys. Shit. Okay. Yeah, he's they think they've got stashes of weapons and they're ready to rise up.
How would a bunch of townsfolk get weapons?
I have no
That
idea.
many.
They're merchants. They're town.
No, they're not merchants. They specifically don't like merchants.
No, but if merchants, if members of guilds are being held hostage against the common folk of London, the guildsmen must be part of this uprising more so than against it.
Yeah, they could be supplying them, I suppose.
God knows, but yeah, this is gonna It's going to be, if this happens, it's going to be 10 times worse than that night in York.
Yes.
Okay, just a moment. Hello, Daniel.
Yes. Hello.
Okay, I'm just thinking about how.
Yay! Our necromancer has joined us.
Yes. Well, hey, I'm
Right.
technically not a necromancer.
Okay,
More druid.
guys. Okay, I'm going to try and bring Daniel in. Okay, Daniel, what's happened is you've been sent off on a ship. You met with these guys. You took a ship down from Scarborough to London. You were seasick for the voyage. Essentially,
Oh, actually, that's completely reasonable.
That's why you missed that scene. And they found lodgings in London. You've basically been staying at the lodgings with the staff while they've been out doing stuff. We've been in London for a day now.
Being sick from the sea.
Okay,
Yes.
So you've now come back to the lodgings, and they can fill you in on what's happened.
Okay. Thank you very much. I do apologize for being so late. Stuff just
No
came
problem.
up.
Let's get on with it. Okay.
Aminius, you're out.
Bro, before we begin, can you see my picture? Because I can't see it.
No.
but
No,
I
we
should have
can't
it.
see it.
No, your money cam's not on.
As per usual, it's dead. Huh?
Well, the thing is, it's right here. What?
Okay.
How do you
No,
turn
no,
on?
no.
Just don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it.
Let's see. We want to keep playing.
Please continue then. I apologize.
Okay.
It's
Right.
annoying.
Okay.
that it
Right.
doesn't pop up.
By the scenes cut, you're back at you and have this conversation. Amelius has recovered from his seasickness.
Oh, you're back on your feet, Aminius. Oh.
That is debatable. Yes.
Yeah, you standing up is debatable at the best of times anyway, let's be honest, but at least...
Yes.
To refresh, we are here to investigate a specific man by the name of William, or William the Bearded, or
The one
something
you
along
wanted to
those
mind
lines.
wipe.
Huh?
The one you wanted to mind wipe, or are you arguing against mind wiping?
What?
What?
The demonic. Is it the demonic person, or is it?
No,
We are in London, not York.
Ah. Okay.
There is a man here called William who apparently has started a following among the people of London and others. He has massive support among the common folk, and apparently possibly some of the merchants as well, which is unusual because he preaches against the merchants. They are apparently stashing weapons and are prepared for an armed revolt. The nobles have begun taking hostages from the merchant class, but it doesn't seem to be dissuading them in the least. We heard some of his sermons, and we did not notice anything magical. We did notice a few members from Blackthorn were present, but they appeared to simply be observing much as we were. We have no evidence that they are involved.
That's unnerving, I suppose. I don't suppose it could have just been stealing weapons from the merchants rather than the merchants supposing colluding with them.
Stealing that many weapons would be very difficult.
Oh, they're already taking hostages of the merchants.
No. The nobles are taking hostages.
The peasants are rising up against the nobility, and the nobility are taking hostages to try and have the peasants remove this man.
And it's not working. They're quite prepared to fight to the death for him.
Yes. So we don't want to be in the city when that happens.
Could it be a case that some of the nobility are riling up the peasants in the background and giving them weapons?
I highly doubt it, because there are no nobles that are being seen in a pleasant light. If everything goes to shit here, there may not be a noble left alive in the city who hasn't fled.
Might be the point. Could it be a noble from outside the city? As in one there's no light being shut on at all, whether negative or positive?
Possibly.
It could be a noble from France trying to undermine King Richard's base of power.
Or it could be a demon.
Yeah, I did already get to that, but I was trying to keep it to myself.
He says it with the obvious tone of course, it's a demon.
By that logic, you might as well claim it's an angel.
If only our friend from York were here to tell us what to do. He looks towards the door. he just waits. He's like, hold on, wait. 1, 2, 3. Nope. Apparently he's not interested. That was a clear invitation for the merchant from that town to show up and help us out.
I don't think that tied a story.
Well, the idea is, well, we don't know if that guy's a demon or works with demons or whatever. We just
Or
have a
the
hunch.
Fae, or whatever.
Or
you think
whatever.
it might be.
But that was the idea. I was just like, oh, if only he were here to help us.
If you was a demon, don't you need a name? Call his true name 3 times.
Unfortunately, I don't think we have his true name.
And that's just folklore.
It could be true. I don't know. I don't study demonology.
Oldred pipes up at this point. Young masters, why are you trying to summon a demon?
We're not.
We are not.
He's being facetious. And I glance at Gareth.
So, what is our plan? Ignoring the more.
Well, I think what we should do is wait for the violence to start, hole up in the catacombs, and you just animate as many of them as you can. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't have any. I can't. I'm not a necromancer as much as my master is.
That's it. I'm going to have to.
I
If
can
you're not
barely
going to
move
do
corpses.
it, if you are not going to do it, I'm going to borrow some books from him.
Look,
Someone needs to be animating the dead. It's tradition. Anyway,
Gareth, have you been having too much ale recently?
he looks at his near empty mug. Maybe.
Right. Okay. But yes, I don't think we'll have another conversation with the Mega from Blackthorn unless she chooses it. More than likely, she is aware of what we are doing, our discussions, if she has invisible watchers. There's nothing
We
can do
could
about that.
have we considered attempting to find or approach them directly and, much as I shudder to say this, coordinate with them?
They seem pretty disinterested in Mika.
Because we are both playing by the same rules currently of our covenants don't like each other, so we will stay as far apart as possible. If we are the first to turn the cheek and offer what we know, limited as it is, they probably already know as much as we do, but there's a chance they might know more, and the gesture might be appreciated.
I just also imagine the Mega is quite a bit older than us and might see it.
Well,
We're a
most of
bunch
us are still apprentices. They're going to see us.
Exactly.
But then again, I don't know how many of them are full magi. Only the woman, as far as I know. But either way, it could still be useful. A large uprising of this magnitude, an uprising like this in London affects everyone. I am sure that we will both want to make as full reports as possible to our covenants. She may wish to coordinate with us, perhaps. Or she may tell us to bugger off. Either way, we don't lose much by asking. We don't lose anything by asking, in fact.
I wonder where this Baron is.
Which one?
The one that arrested the merchants.
Stanford, I would assume.
I wonder if it'd be worth having a conversation with him.
Okay, for purposes. So, no Baron is incredibly high rank. There's only 25 Barons in England when they signed the Magna Carta.
Oh, okay.
So,
Getting an audience with him is not going to happen.
No.
It would more. No, actually, no. I'll give it to you because that role you got earlier. The arrests of the merchant hostages was on the orders of Hubert Walter. Oh, I see where you're coming from now. Yeah, okay, that was the name, Hubert Walter.
Yeah, is he not a Baron then?
Does anyone have England law or
yeah, I've got area. I've got England law 1.
Oh, look, you have a roll certainly.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay. No, Hubert Walter. You could definitely heard that name. Oh yeah, no, he's not a Baron. He's the Archbishop of Canterbury.
Oh, great.
So the church is supporting this.
Well, the church is instigating it. If they ordered, the church is siding with the nobles on this.
Yes. Oh no, yeah, true.
Fine,
Yeah,
right
they
to
arrested
rule
him.
and all.
Does anyone have church law? Was it organisation church law?
Nope.
No, okay. Or anyone else with England law?
Let me check.
The
I
church, the
don't
corrupt
actually recall.
institution.
I have Northern England. I doubt that will help.
Scandinavian church lore? No, I'm just kidding.
England, is that relevant? No, I don't think it is. Right.
Yeah, I don't think it would be either.
Yeah, I do not. No organization lore.
No, fine. Okay, fine.
I have some area lore, but just Northern England, a general.
Not really relevant. Okay.
All right. The church is is supporting the nobles in this, it seems.
Or possibly is attempting to instigate this further. The church is not being targeted by the peasants, did you notice? Their hatred is towards the rich, and they're not including the church in that. They just don't like the nobles and many merchants.
That might change, though.
It could, but at present at least, there has been no hostility towards the church or the king. So one might ask why the church simply decided to get involved and risk getting themselves targeted. The peasants did not even seem to know that. They assumed it was nobles who had arrested them. It was the nobles' men, but not on the nobles' orders.
Perhaps church wishes to remove nobility, I guess, maybe?
The nobility, that would be very strange. The nobility are no, they're not part of the church, but you understand they are
part of the estate.
Exactly, something the church uses. They would not want to simply dismantle it.
Or does it would kind of make sense if to command someone else's arms to rise up and attack someone and capture hostages if you want to lay the blame on them. But
perhaps, but this action, they could have taken this action for either purpose. They may have thought that this sort of thing, taking the hostages, would actually convince the peasantry to do as needed, in which case they underestimated the hold this man has upon his followers. Or I need another ale.
This William fellow is heavily quoting scripture.
Yes.
So he can read? Huh.
No,
he's memorized it.
Yeah, he is quoting it from memory. You know, I don't know it, but it sounds pretty damn accurate from what I know of the Bible, which granted isn't much, but
I pay less and less attention. So we need to come up with what our next step should be.
Maybe he's just biased.
Do we need to talk to the merchants? Was that part of our plan?
we need to actually come to a conclusion of what we want to achieve before we make a plan. What's our goals here?
The simple goal is confirm whether there is magic afoot or hermetic involvement in this entire escapade. Because unfortunately, if there's not, our course of action seems to be get the hell out of Dodge and let it happen.
Yeah.
He doesn't say that part, obviously, but you know what I mean.
The heaviest suspicion for me would fall on one of the covenants from Scotland. It's one in the southern borders that's in caves. I was looking into it for obviously other reasons, but they have a huge issue with the Norman invasion. Their covenant predates the Norman invasion, and they see it as their duty to try and expel the Normans from England. I could understand their motivation for inciting this, but not Blackthorn.
Would this be how they would incite it?
This
Send
fellow
someone local.
Yeah, this fellow's a pawn of theirs or whatever.
We did not notice anything magical in his sermons, but that does not mean there was not some already. If magic was already cast... Sorry, go ahead.
Covenants have plenty of individuals that aren't magical yet still are very capable. He may be a,
Yeah, like me, Sir Lutrid.
exactly.
Yes.
But or they could have gone searching for a fellow that had a had a grudge against Norman and then sponsored him.
Possible.
If there was going to be Hermetic intrigue, I would expect it to be this covenant from Scotland. I wouldn't expect it to be Blackthorn.
Exactly. So perhaps our first step should be, we've established what we want. We want to determine if there's magical involvement, and if so, from who. That way we can report it back accurately. That means we are here for information gathering.
Agreed.
We cannot directly approach the Baron or any high noble. We cannot directly approach the High Church.
No.
So, for many reasons, scratches at his head. We could perhaps approach the merchants and get information from their end. They may know more. I hesitate to suggest this, but I could consult with my father. I don't really want to do that. But if you are not having luck on your own exploits, then perhaps an inside contact would be appropriate. He may be very confused as to why I'm here and dressed as a peddler, but...
You can swap clothing before you meet him.
Very true. Thank you. I need another ale. No, I don't need more ale, apparently.
There you go. I give you my ale.
Damn you.
I find it funny.
In any case, we could do that. We could contact the merchants and try to see what they know and put those pieces together. And perhaps after that, if we have no better ideas, since we also cannot approach we cannot approach the nobles, the church, or the man in question for various reasons. So perhaps our next bet would be to approach the Blackthorn emissaries. Yes.
Yeah, just finding them is going to be the challenge, I think.
Yes, they are fairly observant. I am pretty sure we can. I think there may be a few ways to do it, but I don't know if they will show up at another one of his meetings. That was pure happenstance, but they are probably observing us. If we ask one or two questions about the appearance that they took or their original appearance, they will notice, and they will likely come seeking us. That's why we're drawing attention to them. But first, we should get in contact with the merchants. That way we have a little more information to bargain with.
Yep.
Okay.
So tomorrow I should go talk to my father?
He may not even recognize you. He probably won't, to be honest.
Let's just say there's a certain hereditary feature he will know.
Yes, I can't imagine you're going to walk around without a hat, though.
Not outside, but when I go speak to him. It's not that hard to get entrance to his house. At least I don't... Well, right now it might be, but... I believe I can... I believe I can get myself and maybe one other in to speak with him. Maybe I could get the group of us in there. Out of character question for you, Nathan.
Yeah.
How did they take me from my family? Because I don't think we ever actually determined that. Like, how is it normally done? Because I honestly don't know what the Hermetic usually do.
Says, "Hey, we want your kid," I guess.
No, right. I mean, it varies. Often if it's peasants, they just buy the child, frankly.
But if it's merchants, then the merchants don't need the money that badly.
Well, it's like, though also it's different in your case, because normally if you have the gift, the fact the parents sort of know you never really fitted in.
They're quite
in
happy
my case, I had dental gift.
Yeah.
But you have the notice you didn't have that problem. So
maybe they just said I was gifted.
In your case, you might not have fitted in for other reasons.
Well, yeah, with having to keep my head covered, it was always a danger, maybe. And they were like, "What we know about it, and we don't care. We'll raise him."
Yeah. Okay. Let's say our death approached your father and essentially offered to take you as an apprentice and teach you a craft. Essentially,
what craft would he have thought it was? scholarly stuff, maybe?
No. Because as in the craft of being like a hedge wizard, a wise man.
Oh, so he actually knows what I went off for. Okay, this is fine.
Not without mentioning the order.
Oh yeah. But he knows I've been off learning my own thing.
This child's clearly fey touched. I'll take them away and teach them something appropriate to their background. Here's some money to make you feel better.
Okay, that works fine. I can work with this.
And she may have used low level mind magics to just nudge him in the right direction.
That's fine. Okay. So are we all good with
Yep.
going there the next morning?
Yep.
Because it's too late to go now, I assume. So.
Okay. You wait next day. So there's definite the attention. The city is still building. Okay, so
I assume we're all going. Well, we can leave Uhtred and Teamster to just watch outside.
Yeah. Okay. You're yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's move on. Okay, yeah, fine. Next day you go and you turn up at the house again. Again, they sort of they're battering down the hatches.
I'll go up and knock on the door.
It's answered by a servant that you think you might recognise. You're not quite sure.
Elderly, then.
Yeah.
Be like, is the master of the house in?
Who's asking?
I am a relation of his. I have not seen him in a long time.
Keep a look. Who are you? What shall I say your name is?
Gareth?
Young Gareth?
Yes.
That you?
Yes. It's been a while. This is very awkward.
He looks at who are your friends?
They are acquaintances of mine,
Right.
fellow scholars. You know.
Okay. Yeah. You better come in. Okay.
We'll leave those two outside just to keep an eye. Things seem a little bit tense. They can warn us if anything gets a little dicey out there.
Okay, so you come to this. It's a fine London townhouse, as London townhouses go. Obviously, this is a family with some wealth. And yeah, there's a bit of a kerfuffle. And yes, you get an audience with your father, who would now be late 40s, early.
Late 40s is quite possible. Yeah. Early 40s, maybe, because I'm like 22 or something now. 23.
Okay. You're probably late 40s.
Gareth.
Hello, Papa.
It's been a long time.
It has, yes. Glad to see you are well.
Yeah, mostly well. Can't complain. What brings you here?
Well, among other things, I am nearing the end of my apprenticeship, but it's a long one.
I suppose, yes, it is. That old witch treated you well then.
She is, yes, very, very hospitable. Taught me much.
I thought often about that day, whether I made the right decision. I'm pleased it worked out.
I believe you did, Father. It worked out very well. These are not her apprentices, but apprentices of others like her, if you understand. They are good friends of mine. I can vouch for their character.
I roll my eyes here. I just roll my eyes.
He has basic table-wide bought in.
We honestly came here for a couple of reasons, but once we got here, we heard some very troubling things. The city, I understand the city is on the verge of an uprising, potentially.
Yes. I think that's probably a fair assessment.
But things are, the more we hear about it, the more confusing it is. There's this man who has a large following, and he's preaching against the wealthy or anyone who has coin at all, against the nobles. The peasants are... Sorry, go ahead.
He's mainly preaching against the nobles who've been imposing taxes for the last few years.
The ones who have been imposing that. So
London's
of course
paid a great heavy price to ransom King Richard back.
I see.
And there's some truth in it. The merchant guilds paid a lot of that. The nobles didn't really pay very much.
Then, so they are not as angry with the merchants then.
No, they are. Their anger is with those who would to take their money.
That is fair. Apparently some... I had heard that some merchants were accosted and arrested in Stanford.
I've heard that. Some friends of mine, I think. I'm still trying to get the accurate reports. My brother Harold was up there, so I don't know whether he's included or not.
Oh, great. I have a blood relation involved in this.
Yeah, arrested on the orders of the Justicar.
We heard that the orders came from the Archbishop.
That he pulls. I don't suppose you hear so much these things up north.
Well, no, we only heard that once we came to the city.
No, they are one and the same.
Oh.
That makes a lot more sense.
Hubert Walter, His Grace the Archbishop of Canterbury, was appointed Justicar of England. one of the few people running the country in the King's absence.
So he is of the church and yet also has authority among the nobles.
Well, great authority. He's outranked only by the king, and the king is not in the land.
That makes a lot more sense then.
He's also a papal legate.
He's from Rome.
No, but he was given letters from the Pope of direct authority.
Yeah. He speaks on behalf of Rome, basically. Doesn't that mean? Huh?
Yeah.
So he's combined the stations of church and state.
Back then, that was not a thing.
I kind of thought it was.
Not separation of church and state. No, they didn't have that.
No,
back then. They were often one and the same.
I know,
but
inside this particular area, never mind. I'm misremembering politics.
I think you're right, though I would not put it that way. Yes, he has direct papal authority. He's the head of the church in the land, and he is in the ruling triumvirate of the country.
Out of character. I didn't mean it was unusual to happen. I just meant that's what he did. It just
Okay, let's move on.
That's all good. Well then,
the fellow, has the rumors that he went to Normandy to actually swear the oath to King Richard? Do we think there's any truth to that?
I've heard the rumors. I don't know how true it is. I think it's probably true he is a crusader, but whether he really met Richard on crusade is another matter.
What are the nobles planning currently? Just to ride it out, or? We have heard stories that, well, speaking completely in confidence, Father, I have heard people say that I have heard peasants claiming they have stashes of weapons and are prepared to use them.
From what I hear, that is probably true. Yes, there are stockpiles of weapons probably hidden across the city.
And there are more than enough followers of his prepared to use them. So that is troubling.
We say weapons. These may be bludgeons and knives and simple spears.
In sufficient numbers, with enough zeal, that could actually be a threat. But what do the guilds say of all this? Just to stay quiet and out of the way, or?
The guild, as far as I know, the guild while they want to defend the rights of Londoners, they clearly don't want this kind of event. We're largely trying to, yes, as you say, stay out the way.
Kind of thinking. I'm kind of looking at Micah. I'm remembering your name, actually. I'm very impressed with myself. Yeah. He looks kind of over at Micah, just like, kind of that expression of, is there anything else we really need to ask? Because, I mean, it's going to be like, otherwise the conversation may devolve into small talk of him catching up on family events, which could take a long time.
I'm not going to speak up. I don't have the gentle gift here, and I'm the only one who doesn't, it seems.
No, Herman has.
No, Herman doesn't have it either.
Oh,
Herman,
yeah. Okay,
Herman
yeah.
gets along with the house cat, though.
Yeah, very well.
But, yeah, I'm going to be careful not to incite the creepy mage feeling as best as I can.
It's fine. You're with 3 other people who are, doing relatively well.
Yeah.
So,
what are your plans, Gareth? Will you be staying here long?
Honestly, with what's going on here, probably not. We hope to leave the city before any violence occurs, but after that, it may be some time before I have a chance to return. But I thought since I was in the city, it would be a good opportunity to catch up and see what was going on with the family. It's kind of looks around like any major changes that I should know about. Like he's not going to admit, "Oh yeah, I spied." I have a sister.
Let's see. Where to start? Your mother passed some 12 years ago.
He kind of winces, like, given she did not come out to greet me, I had that thought.
But she in childbirth.
Oh, did the
Did the child
child
survive?
Yes. Susanna. She's still fit and healthy.
Does she know she had a brother, or be rather awkward to explain, I suppose?
She knows a little. I did not want to discuss the specifics with her.
That is understandable. Well,
Perhaps sometime we should talk of your own birth.
yes, I have not learned much on that front, shall we say? He kind of leans in, like, I certainly have not had contact with, well, but
you are, well, perhaps, no, you are old enough to understand. There is perhaps a little more I can tell you.
yes, I don't know. He kind of looks and just goes, if there's anything you could tell me, I would appreciate it. But
do you want me to discuss this among your friends?
I start moving to the back.
I kind of look actually over at Herman, and I'm like, he might have an interest in hearing this. But perhaps just the 3 of us then. Like, not trying to be rude to Micah, but like, there's a reason he's inviting Herman in on this. Cause
yeah, that's fine.
Herman does that Faye thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
we'll return to the inn.
Okay, very good. Okay.
I just start hobbling out.
Okay, we'll play a short scene with just these 2 players. I won't drag it too long because obviously that's not.
Yeah,
great.
exactly. Be real short.
Yeah.
Okay. Gareth, how much do you know already?
I know I have ears that are not quite normal, and the Fae folk seem to recognize me as being close to them. That much I know.
I was out traveling many years ago. I was a young man. I met something, And yes, and later you turned up on my doorstep.
I had assumed that much. Are there any details that have not been lost to memory, or
There are.
a name, even one that she might have given you to call her by?
I'm just going to the docs. I was. Let me think. He's clearly struggling with this. I was.
Oof! Ow! Ow! Sorry, leg cramp. Leg cramp. Technical difficulties, people.
It was. It was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. With the smell of the sea breeze. About her. She was swimming in a river when we met. I've sought to learn about such things since I believe it may have been the Melasoon.
Sorry, out of character. Your voice quality is a little.
Melasoon or Melasina.
Okay.
You can both do failure rolls on that.
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
I'll gladly make a roll. It's going to be intelligence plus failure. Is that a type of sheep? What was that? A name or a species?
What you roll?
Well, does it involve the she? Because if so, I have a bonus.
Oh, yeah, I'll give you that bonus on this one.
Okay. In that
I
case,
got
I
an
have.
11 on mine.
That's probably better than what I'm going to get. I'm going to roll. Is a 10 bad? I think a 10 is bad.
Yeah, just one botch dice.
Let me roll. 9.
Botch. Okay, no.
So, okay, that means just I got a total of 3 then.
Doesn't really tell you. That aside, yes.
It's actually a 12, but yeah, there we go.
12, okay. Okay, right. Lee, I'll send you a link in the Facebook chat.
Let me just bring Facebook up.
Hooray!
I'm guessing no one else should read it unless you roll 12.
We're not there.
Yeah, you guys went back to the end.
A watery spirit. I've heard many different stories about her since. I believe it may have been her. I'm not completely sure. So that is the, I believe, the origin of your features.
Hmm.
I was traveling in Normandy at the time. So whether that is the name of one or there is an order of such ladies, I do not know. Oh yeah. But well, perhaps you're a better place to investigate.
I can definitely look and see what I determine about this. It is helpful. It is a name I did not have, or a term at least.
There is there are stories about King Richard, it said, tells a tale that he has descent from the Countess of Anjou, who may have been the spirit.
Interesting.
Were you in England when you met this woman?
No, in Normandy.
Normandy.
Oh wait, he was in France.
Yeah, I travelled there. As I was a young man at the time. I travelled on business.
Huh. Oh,
Well,
my
we
mother must have traveled.
Probably France. It's the same country at this point.
Well, still, that's a long ways for my mother to travel to drop me off at the doorstep, so to speak.
Yes, but then, well,
To their kind, perhaps not.
Yeah.
But either way. Oh, that is still very useful information.
Okay, I'm gonna. Obviously, some other small talk happens, but I'm gonna move the scene on.
Oh yeah, tons of small
it's
talk.
fine,
Yeah,
it's fine.
family catch up. Yeah.
Okay, you'll go back to the inn. I take it.
Yep.
Yeah, on their way back, I'm gonna tell Gareth that maybe I should have asked you about mermaids then, instead of Charles.
Okay, Lee, do you want to add anything else to tell Gareth?
Thank you for your hospitality.
I'm trying to think here. I'll tell him that I definitely know some information about your mother. I've read about that type of species.
I will gladly look over that information.
Okay. It's quite a large. I've been reading. It's quite a large Wikipedia page. I'll tell. Yeah, she. From my understanding, it's a spirit of a river.
Interesting.
Some sort. I can tell you more once we get back to the Covenant. I think we might have more pressing matters.
We can cover that. We can cover that out of scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got some useful information there. Once we're all hooked up back at town, back at the end, just be like, so Blackthorn, or I mean, we have some information. It seems there's no mystery involved based on what we know right now.
Yeah.
And I don't believe we have an easy way to get in close without extreme risk. We could. Do we have anything we could barter with the Blackthorns?
Not really.
Not really.
Damn. It can't hurt to at least talk with them and see what they would officially... If they would go on record as saying something, that could still be something. Even if it's incorrect, it is still a source of information, even if it is looked at with some...
So I suppose
concern.
the most
Caution.
the easiest way to maybe contact them is ask around about Welshmen.
Yeah, that would be the only way I would know. I would know where to start, even.
So
If we go around asking questions, they will hear about it. They seem to be very aware of their presence in the city.
Yeah.
And they will likely come snooping once they hear that we've been asking and be like, what the hell do you want? Oh, I just realized we haven't seen that raven. Looks at the window.
Will you stop trying to summon things that we don't want to encounter to us, please?
I was just commenting. It's the first time it hasn't followed us away from the Covenant in years. Maybe we went too far away.
Maybe it just doesn't like going by a sea.
Maybe it's being lazy.
Maybe.
It never came into York when we were in York. It was just on the outside. So maybe it just doesn't like cities.
Well, if it didn't like
It is a
York,
raven.
I can't imagine it would like this place. Okay, so what? Try and get hold of the Maga from Blackthorn? tomorrow?
That seems to be our only approach. Yes, it's that or try a direct approach with William, and that could be very dangerous.
Yeah, agreed.
I'd rather get every possible source of information before we try something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Fair enough.
So
Okay.
we basically go around asking questions about Welshmen and Welsh women.
Welshman.
It's a big city, so there may be
Yeah.
people in, you know.
Or we go to the next meetup and see if they're keeping an eye on things again. With the
Both.
intent.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Well,
think more luck there than.
you went to visit your father in the morning, didn't you? So I think you could go back to the folk meet this afternoon.
Cool, we'll do that then.
And yes, there's still the mob. There's still William of the long beard preaching away. I should put the picture up because some people haven't seen it.
El mugshots.
I should repeat the extract I used earlier.
Right.
Someone's benefit. Okay. So, I am the saviour of the poor. Do ye, O poor, who have experienced the heaviness of rich men's hands, drink from my wells the waters of the doctrine of salvation, and ye may do this joyfully. The time of your visitation is at hand. For I will divide the waters from the waters. The people are the waters. I will divide the humble from the haughty and treacherous. I will separate the elect from the reprobate, the light from darkness. And he carries on in this sort of very charismatic speaking to
Hey,
the
well,
crowd.
philosophy.
No, this is theology, not philosophy. Daniel.
Yeah, I kind of figured, but I thought I should ask.
So, any big Welsh boys here?
Yeah, perception roll.
Okay.
Okay.
7 plus 2, 9 on a perception.
Yeah, you see them also skulking on the edges, a bit look on the indiscreet.
Okay. Point them at, nudge and point them out. Should we go over and have another conversation?
I think that would be a good idea. I'll come
It's
with you this time.
Blackthorn, get them! No, I'm just kidding. Let's not do that. So we approach him?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, all of us this time.
Okay, yeah, so there's 5 burly looking Welsh fellows.
I hobble on the back.
Okay. Hello again. This is one of them speaking in. Oh, she just speaks in Latin. I say, yeah. Sorry, he speaks in Latin.
Yep.
I go with she. Because I know it's an illusion.
Good day.
Still come here to watch the spectacle again?
I'm hoping to meet yourselves, actually, to be brutally honest. Just with whatever business you have in the city, is it keeping tabs on this fellow, or?
Our business is our own.
I know. And I perfectly respect that. I am asking. If you...
It just the situation is so perilous. We wish to know what in the world is happening here.
I'll just turn around and look at him. I mean, stop being so dramatic.
Clearly, I am curious as to how this is proceeding.
Mm. Well,
Anyone with an interest in the city would be.
Well, far larger than the city. This concern would affect the whole country.
It could. And an event this large will be heavily scrutinized, as evidenced by both of our presences here.
no.
And what do you make of this, William?
Based on what we have seen and observed, he likely comes from some ignoble background, poor background, possibly. He may be a crusader, but there's no confirmation of this. He may have met with King Richard, but there is no confirmation of that. What there is confirmation of is that his words here are apparently riling up the peasantry and poised to tip the city into chaos. The nobles and the church themselves may have some issues with this. Well, at least the Justicar will.
I would not call them peasants. They would take offense if they could understand your words.
Well, fortunately, I don't see anyone translating for them. But thank you.
Out of character, what do the peasants call themselves? I remember like villains being one word. But...
No, they're not peasants because
they're not peasants.
We're in London. They're free men.
They are specifically not peasants.
Okay.
The common folk.
Okay, thank you. Continue on. Just
okay.
Trying.
I'm interested in sort of possible facts, which may or may not be true, but that does not rather answer the key question as to what is his nature. Or, you've heard his words? Do you think he is divinely inspired, or do you think he is inspired by somewhere else? She points downwards.
We have no information one way or the other to that. Getting close to him could be difficult. This is as close as we've gotten to him so far. I don't suppose you might have any more pertinent, closer hand information than this. Or at the very least could go on record as stating that you don't believe this man to directly have an infernal influence?
I have no reason to. I do not have any evidence to believe that is the case. But
Same as us.
No, I'm sure a theologian might have a view. After all, he's not the noble lord ordained by God.
True.
And we assume that if the Archbishop of Canterbury is on the side of God,
then therefore his opponent must be. I just look over at the guy again, just trying to think it over.
No, I'm going to be while Gareth is leading the conversation, I'm going to be keeping an eye on the peasants around us to make sure they don't note or take note really that we're speaking Latin and get angsty about it.
You'll notice, but it's like, they're not paying particular interest. Yeah.
But I'm just keeping tabs on it just to say.
So, like, if they start getting pitchforks, we know before they start poking us.
Can I roll Folkkin on the speaker just to see if I get any revelations?
Okay, go on then.
Yeah, 1 sec.
I'll do a guile roll.
Folkkin.
Well, I rolled a 9.
Roll well.
I got a 10 altogether, so yeah, I don't think it's good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, fine, okay.
That's +5 to Folkkin is really impressive.
Actually, it might be 4. Let me just check right. I have 3 in Folkkin
Right,
because.
okay.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, I'm sure if such a speaker was infernally aligned, then it would be a good deed to put an end to it, wouldn't it?
Most certainly. But if he isn't, then
Then
it might not be so much a good deed. Did he get anything from his folk roll?
No, I did not.
Could you roll for me? I have just a 1 in it, but I also can't find the link.
I'll give you the link. That's fine. There we are.
Thank you.
I'll turn to her
that's what
briefly.
I'm getting.
So your covenant is home to the oldest Quesitor of the tribunal. Do the Quisitors have a particular stance on this, scenario at the moment?
I think it's all happened a little too fast for people to have a stance.
Ah.
The fact that we're both here investigating it, yes. It's our reports that will likely determine what they do next.
I would be concerned that if there was a popular uprising, whilst it may be initially target the nobles, it might eventually move on to target
Us.
anyone of wealth.
Yes. Merchants, scholars. Yes.
People in inexpensive, very curiously extremely prosperous manor houses.
Indeed.
So you're a person of.
I doubt it would spread as far as the caves of Wales.
Oh, so that's how we're going to play this.
Well, we're farther.
Amused. He looks amused at that.
We're farther away from than Wales, so I mean, right?
Yes,
anyway.
But that was a clear indication they know where we're looking, which it isn't that hard to find out if you talk to the Red Cap Network.
Quick question.
What you want to
I apologize for interrupting again. I rolled an 8. What stuff do I add to it?
Perception and Folkkin.
Perception and Folkkin.
My comment was out of character, for the record.
Yeah,
Then
but
I
our
rolled a
character
10.
doesn't make sense.
She made it.
I rolled a 10 or an 11 if it's necessary or has anything to do with
Wait, did you roll a 10?
No, he rolled an 8
no.
plus 2.
Okay.
I got an 8 plus 2.
But
plus
she rolled a 9
anything to do with
naturally.
Dylan.
Doesn't matter. She rolled a 9 naturally. She's going to have better guile than that.
Yes.
I imagine.
Yes.
So it's irrelevant.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
I thought she made a comment to the effect of it might not go to the caves in Wales.
Yes, because their covenant is based in caves in Wales.
Oh, well, then never mind that.
That's what I was saying. Your covenant didn't make sense because they're the covenant in the caves. Nothing to do a Wookiee hole, which isn't in Wales.
That's what I thought they were talking about. Sorry, I misunderstood. I didn't know where Blackmore was located.
You're a woman of great means. Do you plan? You're a person of great means. Do you plan on? Doing anything about this?
I have my plans of my own.
I'd like to know just so we can get out if this is going to go off.
No, it looks like it is going to go off, as you put it, whether we do anything or not.
That's true.
One might wonder then, well, as you say, your business is your own. We don't know what other business you might have here. In our case, well, You don't have any direct reason to suspect infernal influence, though. So that's one thing, at least.
Well, he's clearly extremely charismatic, and he's clearly preaching against the church. Or at least enough that the church wasn't want him removed.
But that might
Okay.
not necessarily be demonic.
Frederick's not here to detect demon.
We could attempt to probe his mind.
From this distance.
Yes.
Have you not already attempted this?
Well, I need to make sure he wasn't, one of your companions.
No, he is definitely not associated with us.
We don't.
If you would like to do so, by all means, we will listen.
Okay.
It won't prove anything if he is infernally influenced, but any attempt would still prove something. Isn't that true? Like, I think we were told in character that any attempt to mind probe the demons, basically, you can't trust what you get.
No, that's actual demons.
If he has infernal sponsors,
then we could still pick up that information. Okay, yeah.
But if he is a demon himself, it wouldn't work.
Gotcha. Well, it will work, but we would the information we get back is a complete fabrication.
Yes. It's probably hard to believe a demon would be outside the church preaching.
Never know.
About God?
Okay. Note the operative that statement.
Yeah.
If we can insist, I'll be happy to try anyway.
You can't. It's a level 20 spell at eye range. To push it to sight range, which you'll need, puts it to level 30 into Lego Mentem.
Yeah, she's going to need to do it if anyone. But none of us has that ability.
And that's assuming that you use words and gestures.
That's assuming it's formulaic.
I was kind of more like implying in the sense of
what's the definition on eye?
You have to share eye contact with them. You can't see them. They've got to see. You've got to make eye contact, like in a conversation. It's shorter than voice, basically. You got eye, voice, sight.
It's so contact.
Huh?
Yeah. It needs direct eye contact between two people. So.
Yeah, it's why eye range doesn't work when you're invisible either, because they can't see your.
I think perhaps I will try to pass him in the street later on, and we'll see what happens.
I assume it is not difficult for you to find where we are located.
I haven't been peering into your affairs. What are you implying?
Nothing so grandiose as that.
Or that we are very unsubtle.
Yeah, I would not phrase it like that, but yes.
Why? Where are you saying?
Simply that you
Give
and
her the
your
name
people...
of the inn that she just asked.
You tell her the name of the inn. Oh, fine. Okay.
All right.
Right. Well, good. I know how to reach you then. Unless some of you wish to come with me.
I could be persuaded to do so.
I would be happy to accompany you.
With two volunteers from our side, Michael just shrugged.
Well, okay. So the day goes on. The crowd, more people swear oaths. The crowd starts to disperse. You still get the sense that this tension's building. So that your 5 Welsh friends, along with Gareth and Arminius, was that right?
Yeah,
you're going to try and move in such a way you can at least passing in the street as he's leaving.
Yep. The cripple is going to try to intercept the man walking with purpose.
Sorry?
The cripple is going to try to intercept the man walking with purpose. Good luck.
Oh, no, I'm more just accompanying. I'm going to let you guys run ahead if it comes to that. Like, please don't hinder yourselves on my account.
Right, let's just...
I'm also going to need to get some water at some point. Sorry.
Sure. Okay. Let's just do the won't be very long, then you can do that. Okay. Right, so you look like... Okay, as you're moving around, so it's lots of big streets around this area, but it's also crowded with people, so you're busting through the crowd. And there's the 7 of you busting through the crowd toward trying to intercept William. And you notice there's another group of people also moving to intercept him. It looks like they're going to get there first because you've got a cripple with you.
I'm waving you guys ahead. Go on. I'll catch up later. Possibly on a horse.
Okay, Gareth, what are you doing?
I thought I was just going to be walking with...
Okay, yeah, walking with them. Okay. Okay, yeah, you go up to intercept. You get quite close. You see William up close. He looked like you can see he's got quite a good. He's got the sort of physique, the big shoulders of a trained warrior. So that would fit with what you've heard about him having been a crusader. There's another group, however, also across at this point, and your Welsh friend is trying to catch his eye when someone draws a knife and lunges at William. One of his followers leaps in the way, and combat breaks out.
I'm happy. I'm happy. Was left behind.
Okay. Combat breaks out. There's a ring of people drawing knives and clubs and having at it in the street. So this is descending to a riot. The Welsh, your Welsh friends are trying to back away at this point.
Please don't let the mage die. They'll blame us.
Okay, can we be serious? Okay, they're backing rapidly. There are screams of pain, blood's in the streets. It's becoming a bit of what are you doing?
I'm not going to bring out magic, so I'm just going to back away with them.
Okay. The focus on both sides on William, so you're actually able to. Just let me out. I don't want to be in this. And there are many sturdy, bearded fellows on his side heaving in. There are many people. However, there's also people on the other side who are going, "Look, I have a hidden sword on this cloak. Oh, that's a military grade weapon. Ah!" Screams erupt. Okay. You could just have a glimpse. Someone, some figure, sword in hand, pushes his way through and goes to strike William down. However, William himself then holding a knife he's pulled his belt, jabs the guy in the gut and pushes him over into the dirt.
So he just beat a swordsman with a knife.
Yes, he clearly showed, this guy clearly can handle himself in a fight.
Probably a crusader.
Okay, and you'll get the sense that, William and mob are rapidly trying to vacate the area. This is a protect the president style scenario.
How far back am I?
Up to you.
Okay. I have a few ideas. Could I just ask them to you and you tell me how?
Go on then.
Could I perhaps try to help William separate himself from the group?
You're nowhere near him.
And he's surrounded by guards.
Yeah, okay. Bad idea. I was kind of thinking that if we did that, then we could get our Welsh mage to look at him. easier.
No, it's eye
Okay.
contact. She's nowhere near him for eye contact at the moment. There's a fight going on.
Otherwise,
Okay, I'm just gonna stay out and try to keep an eye out for my.
Okay, like combat ensues. There's blood on both sides. Yeah, you'll notice that the basically looks like a hit squad who had lots of concealed short swords and stuff, and we're trying to take William down. And this angry mob are now defending him and sending him away. Okay, they appear to be going. They appear to be, so William and a few supporters appear to be making a break for it away from the area.
How well armed were William's defenders?
Like mostly like clubs, improvised weapons.
Whereas the people going after them had swords.
Yeah, more short swords. Yes.
But actual blades.
Military grade weaponry.
Shit.
Are they?
That was a noble hit attempt, I think. Or
Are
a church
they
one.
fleeing towards where we were? Or are they fleeing away from where me, Herman, and Alfred are?
I'm just trying to think. You're not sure. Okay. Right, okay, with your Gareth, with your knowledge of London, yeah, they're pretty legging it away towards another part of the city. It's not particularly near you.
Okay, that's fine. We're not a problem then.
Okay. Yeah.
That one's spectacularly terrible. Okay.
Okay, so I'm assuming you all meet up again with your Welsh friends as well to talk.
Yes.
Yeah, and comment like, well, that was interesting.
That's
What happened?
well. It seems like
Gareth, what happened?
I think the nobles just tried to kill William.
They failed.
Yeah, he got away.
Ugh.
But they had actual swords. They were disguised as peasants and such.
That's unfortunate. That would have made things very simple.
Yeah, I would have rather they just killed him.
Yeah.
Saying it
Yes,
nice.
the only way to ensure that would have been to involve magic, which would have caused many problems. So we stayed out.
Code and all.
Yes, exactly. Not interfering in mortal affairs.
No,
Very good.
No, the code is bringing ruin on my Sedalis from interfering in mortal affairs. There's a difference.
True. Still,
Oh, wow, okay.
Okay.
I'll look at our
yeah.
Mega. What do you anticipate the consequences being from this if he's just had an assassination attempt against him?
well, I doubt he's going to be less fervent when a blade is being thrown at him.
I'll look at the Mega who I addressed the question to and
Yes.
prompt her for a response.
What do I think is going to happen? I think this is only going to escalate now on both sides.
It's unfortunate.
I vote to leave at this point.
Some of you seem very happy that he just be killed.
It would have made things easier in some ways and harder in others.
If he had died, it likely would have caused just as many problems as this attack itself. He would have served as a martyr.
Yes, but there would have been a lack of coordination.
Yeah,
If you said he looks like has genuine experience to his story as a crusader, having a leader that is actually experienced and competent is a big difference than having a martyr and a mob of free men that don't know much more than how to hold a sword.
We have little stake in this other than a general desire to not see bloodshed. And unfortunately, that point seems to have come and gone.
There's none among you then who would want to take a moral stand in this matter.
I just give her a look.
What are these morals you speak of? No, in all seriousness.
Interesting.
In all seriousness, I don't have any we don't have
don't
any
know enough.
specific.
I would say we don't know enough. If either way,
We have no confirmation of anything other than
Interesting. If you did know enough, would you take a moral stand? If you knew he was a divinely inspired leader, would you take a stand there?
if he's a divinely inspired leader. I don't suppose there's much we can do about it at the moment.
if we knew he was divinely inspired, or if he was demonically inspired, would it change what we're
Very large difference.
going to?
Well, that's my question to you.
If he were demonically inspired, we would. Well,
Yes, it would. It would change it from
we
us.
would have to have a stance at that point.
But if it was divinely, I would hope so. I suppose, but
Are we old enough to have opinions yet?
Micah's shaking his head.
I'm curious now. So you hope so? What you hope you'd have some morality, but you're not sure you would.
that's a good way to put it, I suppose. Huh.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, if I just said yes, it might make me a liar.
You've already dug your hole. You don't need to start watering it. Just get in.
Well,
In
You
any
started
event,
any philosophy lectures.
Well, there are some magi who choose to act in the service of God. There are some who choose to fight in the Crusades.
True.
Some.
I believe we can safely say that none of us have
Clearly, those magi are not here.
None of us have an intent to go fight in the Crusades. No.
I think her statement was a broader reference to morality.
I'm aware of that. Well, I think we have seen some. I don't suppose you were able to get anything before.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I could try to find out what is going on. Oh, one moment. She looks like she's listening to something.
I'm waiting patiently.
My instincts tell me that William and his followers have holed up in the Church of Saint Mary Le Beau, or Saint Mary of the Arches.
Your instincts are very capable individuals.
They've apparently claimed sanctuary.
I
kind of doubt it's demonic then.
It's an indication that it would not be, certainly.
Why? Demons aren't excluded from holy grounds. They may not appreciate it. They may suffer as we suffer, but to a greater extent. But it doesn't. They are not. It's not warded against their entrance. It's not like an Aegis.
It's more. It's more the indication of trust, I suppose.
I doubt he would be an actual demon.
But an infernalist could easily take shelter in a church.
Someone gifted with powers of the tongue.
It's not that his demonic influence would not allow him to go into a church, but rather that when he flees, the first place he goes to is a church. That suggests.
I see you're not familiar with mortal customs. Do you understand the term sanctuary?
Yes, I do. It's
out of character. I might not. Apparently.
Essentially, sanctuary is like
he's taking sanctuary from the nobility. The church. He's asking sanctuary of the church from the nobility.
Okay, gotcha.
He's by formally entering a church and claiming sanctuary. In theory, he is safe from prosecution, safe from arrest. It's a custom often abused by outlaws. To be frank, though it's also used for better purposes.
Yeah, out of character. The reason why I would imagine that he wouldn't do that if he was. Well,
Just keep it in character.
Don't explain it out of character. Just keep it in character if you want to explain
okay.
it.
The thing is that since a Justicar is in charge,
I believe the church is currently under siege. Do you want to? Should we wash our hands of this, or should we go and see how it plays out?
Part of me would like to see how it plays out, I must admit.
If there's a way to do it from a safe distance.
And if we are to assume he is divinely inspired, which there seems reasonable suspicion of, are you planning to take any action to spirit him away, perhaps?
No, I'm not an
No.
agent of the divine.
Well, by choice.
I don't. Do we have even the ability to do? Actually, curious now. I certainly have no skill in those matters.
You
But
could have stopped earlier in that sentence if you liked, Arminius.
Ooh.
I missed
well, I'm
what he
asking
said.
if you guys do it. I basically said I'm actually curious to see if we can. At this point,
I'm just gonna
I
look
mean-
at Arminius and just be like, why would we want to?
if we can't do it, then
Why would we want to?
The question was if he was divinely inspired. But
Yes, she was asking if we had a reason to take him away. As far as I know, we don't.
Okay, so you walk and talk, I take it.
Yeah.
You're evading to St. Mary of the Arches, which is you can make an England law roll of that, John.
Okay. D10. I rolled a 1. That's good. I only rolled a 2 though. That only goes to 4. Plus 1 goes to 5.
Okay, yeah,
It's unfortunate the dice mechanics can be so lackluster sometimes.
yeah, it's a church.
That's about it.
It's got a tower. It's a defensible church. Okay, you get to the area. Yes, there are. It looks like there's a force of men surrounding the church.
Besieging it or protecting it?
More besieging it. They're not literally like using siege weapons on it, but yeah.
No,
They're
but
just waiting for someone to walk out, basically, and preventing anyone from getting in.
But if there's like, what numbers are we talking about here? Dozens or?
A few hundred.
So if that represents some noble's influence of trying to apprehend him, that's not insignificant. Do they
Almost
look
like
like?
a justice car.
Are they armed? Sort
Yes.
of well.
Yeah, they've got a mixture of like pole weapons and bows, and like leathers and partial bits of plate and bits of chain and
Military.
like proper men at arms.
Is any of the peasant mob that were obviously there earlier gathering beyond them, sort of in the back streets or anything like that, trying to come to the rescue of William? Or
There's people around. There's not like there's a huge mob here because no one really knows what's happening, or it's all happened a bit fast. The mob was dispersing and then it's kicked off.
okay,
So we don't know how many people are inside the church.
and I assume this church doesn't have any windows that they will be able to see into anyway.
No, there's no big windows. Again, churches are meant to be defensible.
Yeah.
Okay, you hear someone read out, by order of His Grace Hubert Walter, Archbishop of Canterbury, you are to vacate this church and surrender yourselves forthwith. No one's coming out.
I would imagine so.
There's no one home. We don't want any. Sorry.
Hey.
The Welshman turns to you. This isn't the only place this has happened. There's soldiers deployed across the city.
If we're going to leave, this is a good time. Just pointing that out. Things are about to get very violent, and our ex may become
very well then. Okay, the soldiers are essentially preparing torches and other materials.
Oh, wow. I'm going to burn a
They're
church.
going to burn the church.
Okay.
I will turn to Gareth and the Mega, the Welsh Mega. Was this the closest church to where that brawl happened?
Yes, yeah, pretty much. Of a significant size, certainly.
Interesting. Okay. I wonder if the man is actually in there, or if they connect to the old Roman sewers beneath the town, beneath the city.
Either way, I think we have gathered a good amount of intelligence.
Okay, they are firing the church.
I'm not interfering.
There's not much I can do. I can't even conjure up a rainstorm to stop this if I wanted to.
I can make more green to make it so it burns faster, I guess. I don't think I can.
You're not helping.
Oh.
Okay, you hear a few people shouting from like the alleyways and stuff. It's like shame, shame. Yeah. Okay. I mean, your order that obviously burn down a church. That's really not done. That's a really bit of a faux pas. And also breaking sanctuary is a quite a heinous sin.
Wow.
A heinous crime. But actually breaking something.
The Archbishop ordered this, apparently.
Wow.
The legate of Rome ordered this. Fucking mental.
I think that's enough information for us to go back and let our masters determine what to do from here.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a few. Okay, you see a few people suddenly come out of the church fighting.
Do we see William in the bunch?
There's certainly fellows with long beards. It's getting a bit dark. It's a bit confused. Yeah, quite possibly.
There's a good light source going on there. We're fine.
Yes, all the fire.
Okay. Yeah, the people come out basically being beaten down and seized. Some possibly dead, some possibly not.
But they all fail.
Yeah. The church is completely surrounded by armed forces. There's no way they can get out there.
All right, once we see that,
Yeah.
time to go. Let's get to the boat and get going.
Oh, yeah. Actually, you just want to leave. Okay. Yeah. No, actually, you do catch a glimpse of William coming out, and he is. The church is surrendered, and William is taken.
Yeah.
Can they actually put out the fires on the church at least?
No, they'll contain it, but that church is not in a good state.
Yep, they fired a church.
They burned the church down to the ground. Wonderful.
All right.
And goddamn them, everyone.
Okay, you just had to leave London now, is that it? Or
I politely excuse myself from the Welsh group, saying it an interesting accompaniment for the evening.
Oh, indeed. Well, we all made our choices, and events took their course.
Well, they did.
And we all were able to observe it in each other's company.
Well, Sedalis, safe travels.
Till next time, Sedalis.
Give her a nod. And yeah, make our way back to the inn. And tomorrow we can arrange passage back north.
Okay.
You might want to do it tonight.
By the time we arrange passage and then getting out in the evening tide is going to be quite difficult.
Okay, so yeah, you've got money to arrange passage back.
Yeah.
What was I say? The teamster with you, however.
Yep.
Let's give him a name. Richard. Action, my lords. I've got another task I've been sent on, so I won't be coming back with you.
Wait, who said that?
The
Teamster.
Teamster.
He was given another task?
Probably to get something.
What task is it?
Not sure it's my place to say, my lords.
This is
May we
very
help you?
strange.
So I'll be heading. I'll be heading west on a little errand for Master Decius.
Decidius. Okay.
Wouldn't West take them in the direction of the Blackthorn Covenant?
Yeah, long way west. That's the other side of the country in relative terms. No.
So safe journeys.
Well,
Good luck.
safe journeys, Richard.
I mean, the alternative is beating him senseless and keeping him in the hold.
Hey.
Okay.
Oh, God bless your travel.
Okay, I'm going to say it takes. You've got monies to arrange passage. It's going to take a few days to find the right ship and get passage north.
Yeah.
By that time, things are probably pretty tense.
No, actually, no. I mean, things. The whole revolution thing sort of peters out a bit. I mean, but what happens on a few days later, on this April the 6th, William, you hear rumor is being brought to Smithfield for execution.
Mm.
I don't know if anyone is.
Do we want to save a
Is anyone interested
probably
in going to
innocent man?
attend,
You're
or
both talking at the same time. Nathan, continue.
Sorry,
do you want? You hear that? Do you want to go and attend?
An execution. I'm not particularly inclined, but unless anybody else does.
I mean, if we've got nothing else going on that day.
If it's not going to impact when we're leaving, yes, because we can go pick up the rumors of the crowd that's there and get a final feel for it.
He's dragged through the centre of the city. His flesh is demolished and spread all over the pavement. And fettered with a chain, he's hanged the same day on the elms with his associates and dies.
Jesus, that's a brutal execution. That's not just...
Yeah, and can I also point out that at this point in time, public executions of bleeding public figures, that's not normal. Yeah, criminals, common criminals are publicly executed. Important public people, they don't normally get that.
And we're certain it was him being executed. It
It
wasn't.
looked like him, yes.
Jeez.
They did not let him speak.
No. Damn.
Okay.
You see a few of the common people who are attending. They're like taking handfuls of earth from below him, where he's hanging.
Is that a particular folk tradition, or
What are people doing?
They're taking handfuls of earth from the ground below where he's hanging.
if you remember the martyr thing, it might be taken a bit more literally than you might have intended.
I don't need any.
Quick question. How hard would it be to get his body?
oh god,
Very. So
Would it?
you're not the necromancer. You sure?
Well, my master is.
Well,
Oh my god, you seriously want to give him to your master?
obviously it's guarded at the moment.
no ship's captain is going to sail north with a corpse.
Oh, I mean, they might with a box.
Shh. But what's inside the box?
You might
I
be able
don't
to
know
get
why they need to know.
Okay, well, if you want to give me an actual concrete plan, feel free to.
No. I think we're going to quash this plan.
I was actually just wondering, like, what the legal ramifications of, well, I guess, criminals' bodies. Are they going to, like, burn it? Are they going to bury it inside a church?
They're kind of
Throw
off.
it into the
That's what I
streets?
said. They're kind of off script here. This is how they normally handle these things.
This was a
knows
normal
what
execution.
Oh, because I was actually thinking, like, if they just were I know, like in some cases, they just like throw the body into the river.
You
Because
don't
they don't
know.
want
You don't know what's being planned. They're off script.
I'm going to point something out.
Yes.
Arminius,
Yes.
we have another covenant who is investigating this matter the same as us. We don't
Yeah.
know for certain that they've left the city. They could still be observing this. How do you think it's going to look if we, the Covenant of Voluntas, come in and take the body of this man after he's dead? It could look very bad for us. Like we
And
have a
I'm
personal
sure
stake in it.
they will understand.
No, they won't.
I don't even know why you're so worried about this. It's not like he doesn't take normal bodies from all over the place.
Yes, and he has a very poor reputation because of that, Arminius.
And in this particular case, it would not just be labeled on him, but possibly on the entire Covenant, because they might say we had something to do with this. Oh, look, Voluntas showed up just as this man made his attempt. Something happened, and now they're cleaning up the evidence.
If they want to examine the body, I'm sure that he won't have any problems.
They're
You're
not
a
going to
fool,
get that
Arminius.
far. They're not going to get that far. Just no. They don't need to investigate the matter. All they have to do is point out the facts that have happened so far, and we will be lost in the court of public opinion.
Okay.
Okay. You get a ship the next day and leave London safely.
Yay.
Okay.
Hooray!
Okay. I think can we leave it there, or is there more to talk about?
Unless you want to do a debrief with Julia, if there's a, or if she, you know, that's,
We could do, but I'm almost happy to leave it because
yeah.
you can report what you said. That's fine. She's
fine.
got no information to add to your debrief in the way that has happened in the past. So
Yeah, that's fine.
okay, so thank you, players and players. Thank you, watchers and watching. This has been an episode of Sons of Voluntas, and just to add a little bit of clarity to what we played today, all these events that happened, almost pretty much exactly happened as in the original history. There really was a William of Longbeard in 1196. He really did raise tens of thousands of armed people to overthrow the nobles, and yes, this is what happened to him.
As far as history records,